So, thanks to the storm having not really been a whole issue, we're here. And I do need to say this right off the top as usual, this was a code that I was granted through the service Lurkit, so, you know, this is a game I was given freely, so keep that in mind as things go along with all of this. This is Gunbot Diplomacy. It's another survivors-like game. As you can already tell by the music and the image in front of you, it doesn't take itself very seriously, and it benefits greatly from that in the little bit of testing I did for it. It's quite goofy in the best way possible. And the music really reminds me of a bunch of things, and the first one that comes to mind for some reason is Ape Escape, and I can't really put my finger on that entirely. But it's a thing. And there's a couple other odds and ends that remind me of things that we will be seeing as we go along with this. Nothing too crazy in the options menu here. You have your basic reduce visual effects, reduce your screen shake, reduce your bloom. You can chalk up the corpse decals if you want just bodies all over the place. Just be careful doing that for obvious reasons. You may end up having your game slow down. The fact that there's the privacy statement and the ability to have it forget your data and decline data collection is quite nice. Music sliders as usual. Interface lets you get rid of your tutorial stuff. Nothing too crazy in here, but it's useful. Oh yeah, and you have your auto aim and manual aim options. The reason I'm pointing at this in particular though is that last line. Additionally, on your upgrade grid, you can choose per weapon if you want a weapon to be auto or manual. So if there's a weapon that benefits primarily from being manual, you can have that one be manual and the rest be auto. So you don't have to mother hen after every weapon you have. Now, unfortunately, I've only got the all-rounder bot at the moment because I only played the one run. Most of these don't seem to be too bad to get. Just basically focus a particular damage type and you'll get most of this top row. It will be the clunky old reliable boy here. Starts with 1 repair, some damage, some crit chance, and a bit of health. You'll notice there are 4 difficulties, but you gotta, succeed, get those. And we have a bunch of weapons to start from, and we can get a bunch more by playing the game, more or less. Like, most of these aren't too crazy. Beat certain bosses, use certain weapons, kill lots of things. But let's go through the weapons. Machine gun. It's just a machine gun. I don't think I really need to discuss it. Do take note of the evolution system that's listed there. That will be useful and important, I'm sure. And it tells you what effects they benefit from, which is quite nice. Shotgun, pretty typical. Gun go bang, spread of bullets go out. You don't really need to think too hard about that one. Then you have things like the fire extinguisher, which does damage over time, which is interesting, with its super deadly foam. I'm interested to see how that actually plays out. Rocket launcher, you shoot rocket go boom. Pretty typical. The arc wave dynamo, kind of similar to like the fire ring from Rogue Genesia or things like that, just basically the area of death around yourself. It is nice that it tells you its damage types and it's actually got 2 different ones. So that would also work for the 50% periodic damage for this bot here. Then you got landmines you can just poop out behind you. It is also important to note, this one's the only one so far that gives you bonus starting scrap. It's like they know that you're gonna be kind of putting yourself at a little bit of a disadvantage having this be your starting weapon. So they give you a way around that. Similar with the Vroomba launcher here, which is just a murder Roomba that goes and collects scrap for you. That also does periodic damage though, so we'll have to keep that one in mind. Nuclear football, it's just a bouncing explosive. It's interesting that one has bonus scrap. That sounds like it would be a useful weapon, but I guess it's just janky enough that maybe they give you bonus scrap to account for it. The thumper just punches things. You just get your big old fisticuffs out. I do find it interesting that its cooldown improves on it with a stacking percentage there, and it can stun, so that's all cool. And then the dodge puddle, which I think I unlocked that in the test run I did. Yeah, every time you dodge, you just leave a death puddle behind. Nothing too crazy. You know, let's start as we mean to go on. We're just gonna break out the fire extinguisher immediately. See if we can unlock that periodic damage one. Okay, so it functions essentially like a flamethrower, but it's essentially an anti-flamethrower because it's a fire extinguisher. Okay. You know what? That works out. We can definitely work this angle. Those two little meters down there at the bottom are my dodge charges, as you might imagine. You got your level meter up there, and of course the health above it, and your kill count and all that good stuff that you usually see. Let's take the experience gain. That sounds like a good idea. And then there's this whole grid system here, which is where all of your weapons and upgrades will go. This is one of the things that caught my attention the most with this when I was looking at the store page before deciding whether I should put in for the key or not. I was originally debating buying the game, and then I saw the opportunity to put in for a key for it, so it's like, well, you know, I might as well give it a shot first. And I was fortunate enough for that to work out. You can get as many weapons as you can fit into this grid as far as I can tell, but as you might imagine, weapons are much more expensive. But you can lock things in, like we'll lock this fire extinguisher in so we can start dual-wielding fire extinguishers as this progresses, but we'll give it a reroll and see if I can get something I can use. Nope, I should have just kept the other one. That's fine. You may or may not be able to read it when we're on the main floor here, but there is 19 maps that we have to get through, it looks like. Probably, essentially, you go through 19 floors, and then technically floor 20 is probably the final fight. Is what the intention there is. You'll notice a lot of these areas are actually kind of compact and cramped. You can't really just go running off in a direction like you do in some games of this type these days. Which, you know, blessing and curse there. This one we just have to get rid of X amount of enemies. You will keep getting a different objective each map. Sometimes you'll get duplicates, but it's most of the time a different one. We'll take the polarity glitch. Each scrap you pick up has a 5% chance of resetting the cooldown of the weapon system with the highest current remaining cooldown, which is only going to be our fire extinguishers at the moment, now that we have our second fire extinguisher. You'll notice the area around these, that's where buff items and such can connect to it. And if this interacted with other things, it would also affect everything in that radius. Behold true power, dual-wielding fire extinguishers. No fire will survive around me, nor will any of the enemies. Get a load of business slime over here, too. He just minds his own business till he sees you, and then he goes for you. We want all these toolboxes you can get, because it's basically a free level as far as I was able to tell in testing. And, you know, oh me, I'm all about free levels. Free anything, really, but that's neither here nor there. Oh wait, no, this gives extra module choices with... Yeah, no, extra module choice, so it is essentially another set of these. Because if it was an extra choice, it theoretically would have been a fourth thing here. The autocannon would be nice, but if I'm focusing periodic damage, I don't want that. Yeah, let's just build ourselves to last here. And you can see a list of all the things you've picked up in that manner over here. Both good for somebody who may be resuming a run and may have forgotten, and good for things like our situation here, where somebody joining that doesn't know what I've picked so far can just look over here and go, oh, he has these things. I would love to get that level 2 fire extinguisher, but that's just not going to happen right now. You know, I wonder... Ammo is listed as something you can do, so you know what? And they lit up. Our fire extinguisher now has incendiary ammo. That makes sense, right? No problems with that idea? Yeah, I'm sure that's just fine. Nothing to worry about here. I basically turned my fire extinguishers into flamethrowers. You're gonna want to watch out for those guys with the alarms over their heads. The ones with the bags and the alarms at the very least, because they will steal the scrap that's laying around the map. They're basically like loot goblins. You wipe them out, you get a bunch of stuff. Some of which being stuff you already had, but you didn't pick up yet. There we go, gained another level just in time. Oh yeah, the oil canisters are your health pickups, by the way, in case you didn't put that one together. I presume repair improves our ability to heal. Let's take Slick and Slide. That sounds like it'll at least be funny. Machine gun, damage augment. Boosters are also a neat thing in this game. Basically, anything around the booster. See how you got these fire extinguisher 2s? Basically, the booster would make both of these fire extinguisher 2s instead of 1s. But boosters can't boost other boosters. But this is much more financially useful for us. Instead of getting the one fire extinguisher 2, we just upgrade both of these. And we can slap a damage augment in here. We can't put it on both of them and get it augmented without losing the augmentation on these, but it'll do. Let the original fire extinguisher be stronger. We gotta do some clear out again. And they put a bunch of little background stuff in, like the skeleton with a hat there, and the beach ball. And I'm sure you saw the cactuses with the newspapers with holes in them, which was pretty funny in the last tile set. These little red guys really remind me of one of the characters from All Real Monsters for some reason, and I really don't know why that of all things came back to mind, because I haven't thought about that in so long. But just one look at that and I'm like, oh yeah, it's that thing. This would be such a weird idea, having both ice and fire ammo on the same thing. But I can't afford my fire extinguisher number 3, so you know what? Why not? An extinguisher of ice and fire. Nothing wrong with that. Destroy the boss. He's just a big old slime. You definitely want to make sure that ring doesn't touch you, because it will hurt, as you might imagine. And you basically have to dodge through it, from what I noticed when I tested this. Because this is about as far as I got. I got through him and then I died. And judging from the amount of damage we're doing right now, I have concerns. But thankfully there's oil cans to make up for our inadequacies. Yeah, he's kind of got a nasty combination going here with the rings and all of the ground attacks just chilling everywhere. Now I could just farm him for experience and scrap as well. Just leave him alive and keep killing off all of the minions he keeps spawning. But let's not risk our lives too much there. Also, there's a timer anyway, so there's only so much you could do with that. One free reroll could be nice. 3 to a bunch of stats would also be nice, and 30 scrap wouldn't be bad. But I'll take the free reroll. I think that'll benefit us more in the long run. Dodge puddle, arc wave dynamo. Give me the fire extinguisher, and it'll be a level 3. Okay, yeah, just clicking cells. I didn't test this when I was testing the game out. I was double checking to see if you could like combine these two to make it level 3. We could get a Vroomba launcher to collect scrap for us, since it does also do periodic damage. That might be handy. And the Vroombas are really fun. Sure. There you go, level 2 Vroomba launcher. And it'll have the damage augment on it as well. Probably grab the extra oil canister spawns with the next thing I buy. Because there are a bunch of little passive upgrades scattered around your grid, and you can buy these spaces. Kind of like we had to buy the spaces in Wand Project, for example, to reopen those. If people remember from when I played that. Oh, we got Stabby Boys coming out here now. Oh, I know, that looks more like a pipe than a blade, but still, the idea is there. They want to beat the hell out of us. Yeah, the animation design in this is pretty fun. The animation's not complicated, but it's got that right kind of goofy energy to it, which is always good to see. And everything's immediately recognizable with its intent for the most part. Like, you got the construction guy over there with his hard hat and wrench. Overkill damage on dying enemies is dealt as energy damage to another enemy within 5 meters. I don't want to mess up my damage types, otherwise I would absolutely go for that. We'll just take BattleBot, which is another thing I haven't thought about in a while, BattleBots. Oil cans heal me more. Now, let's get more area. Because presumably that'll make our fire extinguisher sprays larger. We could get another incendiary ammo for this fire extinguisher up here. But I think we're fine. Explosive ammo. You know... This does mess with my damage typing. I'll acknowledge that. But it's too funny. Explosive ammo fire extinguisher is just too good. We do admittedly have 3 damage types now. I just gotta make sure that they don't do more damage than the periodic by too much. Oh yeah, you'll sometimes have hazards. Like, right now we have those red circles of, like, acid rain going around. Just don't go in there and you'll be fine. It stings a bit, as you might imagine, as your whole little body starts melting. But just don't go in there. It's that simple. Just don't do what I just did there. You would think oil wouldn't really be able to fix acid melting your hull, but it's fine. We didn't gain a level that time, but that's okay. There's another Roomba, but no. Yeah, a mount does technically work for the fire extinguishers. Let's shift the... Oh, wait, no, I can't shift things around. I forgot. Okay, we'll just put the amount over here then. Buff up these 2 fire extinguishers to have potentially increased amounts. I do like that all of them will give you a readout of exactly what effects are on them, how much things have changed and everything. So if you really want to go stat diving, you can. Yeah, right now we've done basically 6,000, 5,000... Between the 2 of these, that adds another 2,000. So about 7,000 damage of what we've done is all from the fire extinguishers. And about 1,500 from the Roomba. 200 from the explosives. Yeah, we're doing fine on keeping the vast majority of our damage being periodic damage. Let's get another damage augment. Yeah, you know what? Why not another damage augment? We've earned a damage augment. So, oh, that's gonna buff the Roomba more. It's fine. It hasn't approached the 50% mark in any concerning way, so it should be okay. This is when it scales out of control and way passes my periodic damage somehow, and I just cry. So part of the damage it does is periodic as well, so really it balances itself out. Oh, interesting. The spy type guys over here just have a slam attack for some reason. Oh, and they've got... It's 2 slimes in a trench coat. Okay, I get it. I get the bit there now. That guy's in, like, camo vests running around here. They going fishing, or are they, like... supposed to be funny tactical vest guys? Projectiles no longer lose damage when piercing enemies. This would be great if I had things that worked with piercing, but I don't think my fire extinguishers technically do. Take some crit chance for funnies. Yes, increased range. Spray the fire extinguisher over the entire map. Ah, ah, ah. Could get another booster. Now the booster pack for you. Sure. Another level 3 fire extinguisher, 20% chance for additional projectiles, and our incendiary ammo is now level 2. Cryo core. I mean, I can slap that over here and start building other weapons around it. This way, another one of our fire extinguishers can slow things. Oh yeah, this map layout is kind of upsetting. I had one of these before. You just gotta watch out for the turret periodically. Just get to cover whenever it starts narrowing its focus down on you. Which makes it very easy for you to get hemmed in by a lot of problems, because, you know, timing and everything can be an issue there. The alternative is you just be brave and foolish and try to dodge the shot when it happens. Personally, I think I'm gonna just take the coward's route on this one and just stay hidden most of the time. Just for sake of us, you know, getting through this. Extra explosive damage, extra scrap dropped by enemies. Yeah, give me the extra scrap. More boosters. More boosters. So I can put it here, and now we have a level 3 incendiary. Just keep pushing the value there, and we've also got another level 3 fire extinguisher. I mean, I could put a booster here too, but I would rather fish for another fire extinguisher at this stage of things, I think. The knockback could be funny to try to make work, but we have no access to any of our weaponry anymore. They're all buried under augments, so it doesn't really work. There we go, there's a fire extinguisher. It's only a level 1. Seems like the price scales with how many of the same thing you have. Since it's 104 for a level 1 fire extinguisher now, but we'll figure it out as we go. Some maps we were getting a lot of scrap on, so I'm sure it'll be fine. And we did just get a increase to how much scrap we're picking up. So it should all work itself out. Also, you'll see that little, like, compass indicator around us. That's indicating... The green stuff is where your oil canisters are, and the yellow ones, I think, are enemies that are, like, a direct threat of some kind, like guys that charge you and things like that. I'm not certain about that. It's most often when I see the yellow one pop up, it disappears very quickly. So I'm not entirely sure what that one means, still. These charging guys, though, are kind of an issue. They just go rolling at you, and it actually does a wild amount of damage. More scrap. Give me more money. Let's put this fire extinguisher right here, since it can get all this damage augmentation. That seems like a winning idea. I could boost its range, but we could give it even more damage. Ooh, I could get a cryocore level 3. Actually, I can do one better. Let's sell this cryocore 1 that's sitting here. Now we have a Cryo Core 4 here. Yeah. Yeah. And for fun, we'll put the knockback. But... oh, these can't use knockback. I am a silly man who did not pay attention. Anyway, we're gonna pretend that didn't happen. Oh, boss time again, huh? Okay. Another slime. Oh, it shoots homing projectiles this time. Okay. And tries to play a murder recording. Okay. You know what? Fair enough. I don't know what I was expecting. Can't really say it was that, but the pattern is very interesting, how the accordion bullets come back. And we got slimes with pompadours trying to destroy me here. What an interesting assortment of enemies we've got going on in this fight. It's like some kind of apocalyptic beach party or something going on. Okay, good. There's some health. Because we are in shambles right now. Thankfully, it does look like you gain some health back on level up as well. That might be what the repair stat does for you. The repair stat either dictates how much you get from oil cans or might be repair on level. Still not 100% on that. Okay, we didn't kill him, but we didn't die. Also, if you actually pay attention, there's this tracker up here. You can see what type of fights you're going to be getting into. I've just been kind of flying by the seat of my pants as I usually do. Let's reroll this because this is not really ideal for what we're doing here. Yes! Enemies take extra damage the more slowed they are. That's going to be beautiful for our setup here. They really don't want to give me a better than level 1 fire extinguisher here, huh? Like, I'll take it anyway because it's a fire extinguisher. I'm just upset that it's not a better one. Okay, so there is duration attached to the fire extinguisher as well. I should have looked more carefully at that. Grab the goodies. I actually never got one of these before. The Vroomba seems like cheating for this, since it can go gather scrap for me. Scavenge a bunch of free experience and a bunch of loot. Not as much as I would have liked, but not a bad amount of loot. Yeah, we learned that knockback doesn't work for this weapon. Yeah, Pierce also doesn't work for this. Sure, just give it an upgraded damage augment for now. That'll do. Then we'll probably go ahead and grab that crit chance when we get our next upgrade. That seems like a worthwhile enough decision there. I do think this is going to end up getting really crazy after a bit with the amount of enemies. And I see why they gave a warning as far as the bloom goes, in terms of don't lower it too much or you won't be able to see certain things properly. Because some of the like lasery effects kind of rely on the bloom a little bit. And I figured out what the yellow indicator was, by the way. It was the scrap bots are the yellow indicator. I just so automatically hunt them down that I didn't even process that that's what that was attached to. But hey, now we know. We figured it out. Oh, hey, all the damage types other than the one I'm looking for. I think there's also, like, bullet damage or something that isn't listed here, but either way. We also don't have dodge, so let's actually reroll for a change. More oil wouldn't be bad because our health is in shambles. But I'm gonna take some luck, because we haven't gotten any luck yet. More range. There's another level 1 fire extinguisher. I could get like an arc wave dynamo or something as well. Continue giving us more damage types and being silly. I wonder how the... Oh, fire extinguishers also don't evolve, so that's sad. I was gonna say maybe the arc wave dynamo and the fire extinguisher make some crazy like electro cannon or something, but no. It clearly isn't how that works. I mean, that does sound exciting, the feedback augment here. When scoring a critical, instantly reduces the active cooldown by up to 7%. But I could also just reduce the cooldown straight up. If it was like, if you fail to crit, reduce the... like, increase the crit chance, then I would absolutely be all about that. Let's just get a decreased cooldown for this fire extinguisher in particular. Just to get that crit chance. Because that's the kind of neat thing compared to a lot of this type of game, is your upgrades don't seem to really ever be universal upgrades. It's specific to the things that your augments can reach, which adds an extra layer of theory crafting and build planning that you otherwise wouldn't have to worry about, because you have to kind of lay out your grid efficiently as well. Otherwise you end up with a situation like I have here, where you have a lot of stuff that just has a bunch of goofy nonsense attached to it and doesn't actually have too much of a plan. Then obviously you can survive just fine without a plan, as I'm demonstrating here, but we're also only on the lowest difficulty, because you have to unlock the higher ones. Keep increasing our range so I don't have to be up against my opponents. Go ahead and slap another fire extinguisher. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fire extinguishers attached to this little robot here, all with varying bonuses. There we go. Slap a booster over here so we have another level 3 fire extinguisher. The cooldown's even better, and more range and duration for these two. I am running out of space to put things, though, I will admit that. I'm gonna assume I can't attack the central turret. I'm gonna check. Nope, it's indestructible. Get off my lawn. I appreciate that one of the 2 warning signs from the turret is just get. Just go on, get off my lawn. Get out of here. Well, this is getting upsetting. Come on. I can still survive this just fine. Probably. Just keep chugging oil, little buddy. You'll survive. You got this. Ow. Well, we survived. Yeah, there we go. Impact damage. That's the bullet damage I was talking about. But we'll take the 5% general damage. We could increase the enemy spawns. You know what? For fun. More enemies. This whole indicator being over my card thing, that's something they may want to fix. But basically 30% chance of oil cans spawning as golden. Golden oil cans also reduce your cooldown by 40% for 3.6 seconds. Sure. Let's see. I am immediately disappointed, but you know what? Larger area, why not? And we'll go ahead and start buying open spaces, since we don't have anything else to spend our scrap on at that point anyway, unless I want to sit there and re-roll stuff. Which, you know, re-rolling would be a good idea. Don't get me wrong. Re-rolling to suit your needs is generally one of the best decisions you can be making in this type of game that I frequently ignore doing. Okay, those missiles are getting upsetting. I may have made a mistake spawning extra dudes on a map where there was homing missile guys. And you could say, how would you know? And, well, I'm dead, so it didn't matter at the end of the day. We got the Gatling gun, the energized spanner, and breakthrough. But it looks like we had to win the run to get the other bot type from the periodic damage, so that's unfortunate. I appreciate the error here. Error, kernel panic attack. Fire extinguishers were doing pretty good, though. The Vroomba did pass them collectively. Like, it did the most of any weapon. Now that we have a couple other weapons unlocked... breakthrough gets you more module options. Okay. Energized spanner is a weapon. Okay, you just throw a spinning wrench around. That's fun. Gatling gun's just a big Gatling gun. Oh yeah, you also have, like, full listings of all your enemies, like Sublime Slime, Capitalist Slime, Smort Slime, Foreman Slime, Beach Slime, Biker Slime, Solid Slime, King Slime, Untamed Slime, Prepper Slime. Okay, so yeah, I was kind of on the right track with him. Invasive Slime, which just looks like a conquistador a little bit. Spiky Slime, Bouncy Slime, Trenchcoat Slime, Killbot 2000, Plasmabot, Scrapbot, Brawl Boy, Cone Boy, Prospector. Okay. Oh yeah, I can kind of see it being a fox now because the thing in front of the hat's a nose instead of part of the head. And then there's the tongue there. Yeah, okay. The boss slime, which is the one we fought second. Slime boss senior. Oh no, this is the one we fought second, the one with the accordion. The Dillosaur, which is the one that killed us. And you'll notice it accounts for deaths too as well, and how much damage you've taken from them. Heavyweight Scully, regular Scully, Crabtus. That's everybody we've seen before. We have four more enemies we haven't seen at all yet. So enemy variety is not the biggest, but you've got quite a lot of weapon and shenanigan variety here, so I'm kind of fine with that. Let's give that Gatling gun a go. So I'm not going to worry about trying to unlock anything specific this time. We're just going to see if we can get through. It was a little greedy of me to have basically my first real run of the game trying to unlock something. Debuffs on dying enemies bounce to another enemy within 4 meters, refreshing its duration. Ooh. Or gain damage the longer you stay still. I mean, this feels like the exact thing you'd want for a Gatling gun. Oh, and you have a different layout. Neat. I had the same layout twice, more or less, so I thought it was per bot, but maybe it's per weapon. Maybe your starting weapon determines your layout, and the fire extinguisher and the machine gun just happen to have similar layouts. Or it's random and I just happen to luck into the same one twice. Sure, we'll just slap a booster on our Gatling gun. Now, if I just stand here... I mean, it's working. I just kind of want to see how much our damage will increase if I just keep standing here. So that guy's gonna stay out of Gatling gun range and just keep shooting at us, so I guess I gotta move now. We also didn't seem to be increasing our damage that much. Let's get some health if I'm going to try to do nonsense like standing still. We could get a regular machine gun to go with our Gatling gun. We'll go ahead and bank that. You know, we didn't get to use knockback before. Can this use knockback? It can. Okay. And yeah, we'll slap a knockback on that Gatling gun to keep those melee guys at bay. Or, I suppose, the contact damage guys away. Since I don't know if you can really call something that goes out of its way to run into a melee enemy. Could really go either way with that one, I suppose, though, if you think about it. Is if a melee attack is just making contact with something you have against an opponent, then technically your body is something you have. Oh, of course, you give me the periodic damage bonus now. I see what you're doing here, game. Though, it has a downside. It gives you more enemy spawns, but the enemy spawns are worth less. I'd rather take stress test unless I'm planning to do periodic damage. Like, that just seems like an always better choice unless you're focusing that damage type. Let's keep taking the health. This health is where our issue was last time. We were killing pretty well, but we couldn't, like, sustain at all. I don't really feel like having cryocore ammo. Area doesn't help. Would these stack? Let's find out if these stack. They do. Okay. So yeah, we can just keep adding to the knockback of this Gatling gun then if we really want to be goofy. Just start shoving my enemies across the map. You have money. Give. Okay, the Gatling gun is something I may actually want to manually aim, because it sometimes targets a little stupidly. Okay, you can't shove them into the pit and kill them. That's unfortunate. But they are also made out of the same stuff that's in the pit. I guess it would, if anything, make them stronger if I did that, huh? Go ahead and slap the machine gun over here, even though it's going to be kind of shortened as far as what it can get. It'll at least get a decent knockback bonus and an upgrade. It's kind of a trait of the immediate versus the long term. But now we have two guns. So you'll notice the fire rate on this machine gun is way lower than the Gatling gun is. By no means slow, but it's not as fast as a Gatling gun. Which, you know, I suppose makes sense. At least once the Gatling gun gets going. Just keep scooping up all the goodies. Taking out all the enemies. Yeah, basically, I'm going to spend a few runs here getting my feet under me, and then we're going to start doing weirder setups. We'll take the crit chance. That seems like a good idea. Hey, look, the fire extinguisher as soon as I say weirder setups. An amount bonus over here in the corner, so it gets upgraded and attached to the Gatling gun does seem like a great idea. 20% chance of additional bullets out of it. We could also have the energized spanner, but I feel like I want to save that for a build specifically around energy and construct damage. Could get another booster. You're not sure, more boost. It's interesting that it counts the knockback from the two bonuses separately. It's a 28 plus 14%. So I wonder if it's saying that those are separate values that are then added, or if it's the two percentages get added and then it's applied. I always wonder how those things go, because that's genuinely an either-or prospect. But either way, this Gatling gun's looking pretty good. Considering 1 in 4 bullets, at least according to the percentage, is gonna make extra bullets. I do think we're cutting through this boss faster just with the 2 guns than we did with like 3 fire extinguishers. Then again, it's easier to keep consistent attacks on him with this because he's got more range. You know, aside from when it decides to target the wrong thing. So I did not switch off of automatic aim, despite what the smart choice might have been. It's kind of in some ways funnier just to let it be the way that it is. One way or the other, we got this fight, though. Nowhere near as much in danger as we were for last time. Even though I just stood in a lot of bad all at once there. Faster dodge recharge is probably the winner right there. Rocket launcher. We could also get a shotgun up in here. Slap that next to all the knockback bonuses. I wonder how evolution works in this game. Because usually it's you have to reach the highest level with a weapon you can, and then it'll combine with the highest level of something else. But we don't really have a way to actively level these things up other than putting boosters around them. So I wonder how that works. But you know what? Sure. Shotgun. And then... actually... Can this have Pierce? It can. Sure, a Pierce augment for the shotgun seems like a winner then. It's a good thing this Gunbot just keeps making more arms so that it can hold more weapons. Otherwise this would get real awkward real fast. And increasing our weapons increases our coverage, so this should help a fair bit. You know, I have not tested this yet, but I should see if I can just place something randomly out in the grid, because I just realized I don't think I've tried putting something not adjacent to one of my existing pieces of the grid. It's so far. I would assume you probably have to build it, like, next to each other. But maybe you don't have to. Better Pierce Augment, Energize Spanner, Booster, Dodge Puddle. Another shotgun, huh? Okay, yeah, it's not saying I can't put this here, so we'll just put another shotgun down and get free extra impact damage then. Why not? That does make it easier to build around something, though, if you just place them out on their own a little bit more, so you have room to build around them, instead of having to connect everything together. It is kind of fun, though, trying to just connect it all into one long connected mass. I don't know, I may still connect everything up just because it's funny. We'll see. Because otherwise, what's stopping you just placing things on all of the passive bonuses? Other than losing some synergies, probably. 15% more impact damage, there we go. Yeah, it's worth it. Even though it's not great having one of the spots around this Gatling gun be a weapon just like this one has a weapon next to it. And it loses these 2 spots. It's at least placed next to a booster immediately. But now we have 2 Gatling guns. This thing is once again just littered with weapons. There's just guns sticking out of everywhere. And yet it still somewhat makes sense. Like, it's not completely absurd that these weapons are here. It's like they could have gone an extra layer of goofery where different parts of the robot would suddenly just sprout weapons, like a cannon pops out of the mouth, the eyes become guns, even the treads have guns coming out of them. Instead, they went for just more and more hands. And either one works, really. I just always find things like that interesting. Actually... Oh, I can't afford both, and then this is on sale, so I can't lock it. Ah! Because right here would be the perfect place to put that amount increase, because it would touch both shotguns and this Gatling gun. Well, I'm not missing the sale, so I'm going to put it there. I had like a hair or something stuck in my throat, which was a little weird. This turret is a menace. This turret is a menace. And I don't appreciate it at all. Turret's being real uncooperative suddenly. I don't rightly know why. But I'm not happy about it. It doesn't seem like a problem, it just seems like I said, like there's a hair or something that had drifted down there and has just decided to upset everything. In some ways, this build seems better than the last one, and in other ways, it doesn't seem like it's quite hitting. And I think it's just the simple fact that all these bullets are great and all, but they're not, like, making it through crowds. The crowds of enemies still can block out the worst of my bullets and survive. Is either our bullets aren't doing enough damage, or I need more piercing so that they can count their damage against more targets. Yeah, go ahead and give me breakthrough, because that might help in the future. We still can't afford another Gatling gun, which is unfortunate. I don't really need to lock in another shotgun. There's another machine gun. And another Gatling gun. I can afford this one, though. So sure, we'll grab this one and put it over here by the piercing augment and the amount augment that we got there. Maybe a third Gatling gun will help when we deal with this guy. Because at the very least, it lets us hit yet another target. I don't think it's the ideal choice, but I think it's the best choice we have with the options we had in front of us. is the one thing we currently are kind of lacking a little bit is pool manipulation. Which, as y'all know, I don't particularly care about pool manipulation myself that much, but it would be a way to solve the problem I'm having right now of not getting the thing I'm looking for. Is simply put, I'm fishing for any bullet-based weapons, and we're either not getting them or not getting enough scrap to get them. Not getting enough scrap is more fixable than not getting them is in the current situation. Because you can either wait just another round, which technically you could do that for getting the weapon you're looking for to spawn as well. Yeah, we still didn't manage to kill him. Ooh. That could be huge, though. More damage for the lower your health gets. How often I keep ending up below max health, that seems like a winner for me. Booster right here will work. Okay, so there's a level 5, because there's level 5 knockback now. Cheap damage augment. And another Gatling gun. The game really wants me to have Gatling guns. We'll go ahead and slap a damage one over here for this shotgun, I guess. Finish off the things around this booster, basically. We have nothing that benefits our salvaging abilities, unfortunately, here. I want to look for gaining some levels, because I think we are a lower level than we were last time at around the same stage. Wow, we also... feels like we didn't have much time that time. We did get a decent amount of scrap, though, so it's not the worst situation. I could also just replace the Gatling guns I have with the level 2s, because that would make these level 4s. I'd get 35 back each. Interesting, by the way, that one of these costs more than the other. So there's some variation in pricing. Here's the reason why this is a choice to make rather than just adding another Gatling gun. I put the Gatling gun here, I get a level 3 Gatling again. So I then have 3 level 3 Gatlings. Or I sell one of the level 2s, the level 3s over here rather that I have, and we end up with a level 4 Gatling. I mean, I suppose there's also the world where I sell the level 1, and then I have the third level 3 that way. Actually, no. It would stay at level 2 because this isn't a booster. This is an amount augment. So that entire discussion over here then is moot. So yeah, let's level this Gatling over here up. Yeah, Gatling level 4. Because this is the one that benefits from the strongest amount augment and such we have. So this was where most of our damage was coming from. And we'll go ahead and slap this synergy augment over here, which gives a good bit more damage to this Gatling gun, which does desperately need to be better. But now that we've made those upgrades, it does seem like we're clearing a little bit more effectively, because our guns are overall doing more damage, which I would certainly expect them to, considering we made one a higher level and made one just have like 20 more damage, basically. To a certain degree, it's just simple math at that point. There we go. There's the polarity glitch again. Actually, no. I think I want the decoy, because that'll be huge for keeping things off our back. Prototype could actually be massive for us as well. We go back down to 3 choices, but 75% more experience gain is so good. Just level 1 machine gun. Damage augment. We can boost this one further and give that one an over. Yeah. When we can afford it, we'll replace this Gatling gun with this one, so it's just flat out better. It would be even better to get a booster so that it ends up a level 3 Gatling as well. But, you know, take what you can get and all that. Or we get really lucky and like a level 3 Gatling just naturally spawns in the shop. I'm not sure if that's possible or not, if I'm honest. And I have not been playing this long enough to know what is and isn't possible yet. I would say winning this run is theoretically in the realm of possibility at the moment. I'm not super confident in it yet, but I do think that there's a possibility we could pull this one off. I feel like I said that right before I died with the last one, so, you know, maybe, just maybe, I should be careful how big I open my mouth so I don't put my foot in it. Ooh, gain 1% damage per level up. So that would be 12% more damage right now. Sure. Like, you'll never hear me say no to bonus damage, unless I'm the one getting hit with it. If I'm taking the damage, then, you know, maybe not. Ooh, I could get a much cheaper additional Gatling gun. Let's buy this spot and put that Gatling gun here so it takes advantage of these damage buffs, then. Not quite what I intended, but you know what? Sometimes what you didn't intend is better than what you did intend. We need to hunt those missile launcher guys down, or we are going to get just swarmed to death by missiles again. Because they seem like straight up the most dangerous enemy that isn't a boss in this game. Them and these turrets are some of the scariest things I've seen in here so far. Because they just have such strong damage potential, and they're very easy to end up ignoring until you get hit by them. For lack of a better way of explaining that thought process. Goddamn missiles. Ooh, I'm so glad it ended there. I got stuck for a moment. We could actually have the autocannon, because it is impact damage. Extra scrap from enemies, because we are constantly poor. Ooh, and a trusty tail gunner as well. Receives a random ammo augment from your grid for each bullet. I don't think we have any ammo augments yet, but we can make that happen. There's a booster. There we go. Now there's a level 2. Yeah, look at that damage increase. It went from 8 to 15. That is just so much better. So this one over here is doing 11, so maybe it was actually more like 11 to 15. So only a 4 increase instead of doubling, more or less. Still useful, though. Really had to think about that map for a second for some reason. And as always, as you can see at the bottom of the screen, just hit the Lurkit command if you want to see the game. Here in a moment, the bot should also print out the store page for y'all anyway. Or it didn't. Hang on. Let me check on that, because I might have forgotten to actually activate that timer. Now it's on. Weird. I don't know why it didn't print that out yet then. But one problem at a time. Is this important or is this nonsense? I mean, technically that counts as important, but not something I need to deal with right now. Cursor off the screen. It may not bother anybody, but it bothers me, so did not want it there. So they do at least give you a game unique cursor. Not really sure driving through the middle of them to grab those pickups was worth it. Ooh, there we go. Heal to full health. Problem solved. It's almost like I never got hurt at all. I'm gonna stick to the plan I'd done here, though. Unless I want to sell this one and buy the Gatling gun instead. But this could end up being a level 3. Wait, why'd my damage go down? These were doing like 15 a minute ago. Why did all of them decrease? Oh, right, because my health went up. It actually was accounting for the your health is lower, your damage goes up effect that we had. I did not realize it was intelligently accounting for that. That's actually kind of neat. Yeah, they're both only level 1 Gatling guns. So yeah, let's go ahead and just replace this one. We can replace the other one later. What's up, Swarm? We are solving problems the usual way, through excessive amounts of firepower. And a weird little alien friend shooting at anything that's behind me. Just gotta survive for less than a minute here. It'll be fine, probably. I'm assuming each of those 4-leaf clovers popping on us is us critting something, probably? Yeah, exactly, yeah. If the problem wasn't solved, you probably didn't shoot at it enough. Try shooting at it more. Grab the toolbox. Doesn't look like there's any of those loot guys running around, so we're still fine on that. And there we go. Yeah, let's take the free reroll at this point. And another free reroll, why not? And an extra dodge charge. Yeah, I'm glad I started upgrading these weapons instead of just adding more and more, because we're running out of room. I can sneak something in over here. Slap a booster in right there. Now we got a shotgun level 3, a better pierce, and even better knockback for these two. Well, these 3 really, but these 2 are the ones that are more useful for that. Lock in the Gatling gun. Oh, this is the last boss, I think. Oh god, it's a bigger, better bot. But dude, he's got bigger guns than mine. Actually, no, my guns are bigger aside from his missile launcher. His missile launcher is definitely bigger than anything I own. Thankfully, I can kind of just wait his shots out a little bit. Technically, he could do the same thing to me, but he's not really invested in the idea of dodging. We are chewing him up real good whenever we attack him, though. I can probably just commit at this point, we'll win. Yep, got him. Wow, the shotgun and the regular machine gun outperformed the Gatling gun. We unlocked hard difficulty, we unlocked lucky, electric ammo, directional booster, matter duplicator, exploit. Oh, neat. Begin the game with Gatling gun and reach the final boss on any difficulty. That was actually a unique unlock to start with the Gatling gun. Leeching nanobots, kill the BFG. Aerodynamics, have at least 50% of your total damage dealt in a single completed run be impact damage. And plot armor, reach level 16 on any bot. So we did a lot in that run. And yeah, looks like the bot was just a little bit slow about printing the store page out today. Ooh, electric ammo is chain lightning. Okay. Oh, so that's what it means by directional booster. It's boosting in a line instead of just in a circle around the booster. Okay, that's actually potentially huge. Lucky is just a slot machine running around. Gain 2 luck whenever you pick up an oil canister. This luck resets between each map. Starts with a luck-based augment of your choice attached to your starting weapon. 14 health instead of 16. And now we have a higher difficulty where enemies have more health, there's more enemies, and enemy health and amount scales every map. Neat. Okay. That could get nasty, but you know what? Luck's on our side. And they shall face the power of the wrench. Let's see, luck-based effects. Oh right, because all of these count as luck-based because they're all percentage-based. Let's try having the wrench with an amount booster on it. So I sometimes throw multi-wrenches. Exactly. Oh, they don't orbit me, though. They just throw in a spiral. Okay. It looked like it was just an orbital weapon. But I think it technically would orbit where you're standing if you stayed still, but since I'm moving, it just orbits the area where it spawns. Interesting. Look, if you need to fix it, hit it with a wrench. We all know this. More health, less experience from kills. Whenever you dodge, gain crit chance. Now let's take duration so our wrenches stay on the field longer. Let's get some chain lightning wrenches. But you just use your wrench during a lightning storm, and there you go. You got chain lightning wrenches. I do like that they're all sparky and such now. It will be for them, that's for sure. So these wrenches are not doing the greatest job of killing en masse. But, you know, we don't only have the one wrench spinning around. No matter how many of them we end up having, it's still only one origin point. So we definitely need more. I'll definitely take experience gain. Do I want the directional booster? Or I want to just keep that in the pocket? I could reduce the cooldown. Go ahead and slap the directional booster in, though. This way, at least every wrench we throw is better, and we'll get more of them. Crit chance. Nah. 15% crit chance isn't bad, but I don't know how valuable it would be in our current situation. Oh, there's new traps now on hard difficulty, or I just never happened to get this one to spawn. Oh no, they just disappear over time. Okay. I thought for a moment they were breakable, and I got excited about the idea of just getting rid of them. But no, that's not how that works, unfortunately. I wonder if area affects the... No, they can't be affected by area. Damn it. I was gonna say, if area affects the wrench, does it just make the wrench bigger? And we just, like, throw a screen-size wrench eventually? Does that be really funny? Just live our Monty Mole dream, throwing giant wrenches at people. Eh. I was fishing for another wrench, but we're running out of money. Exactly. You know, let's just double down on the electricity on the wrench then. This, I feel like this is a setup that shouldn't work. But by hook or by crook, I'm intending to make it work. Get back here, Scrapbot. I don't know how I'm gonna kill you with my weird orbital attack, but I'll figure it out. There we go. I just had to get ahead of him so he'd run into it. Anything can be made to work. You just have to do some odd things sometimes to make the thing work. Oh, that's how the scrap that gets pulled to you works. This much value of scrap will be doubled when you pick it up next. This way they don't give you the scrap that you didn't pick up, but you at least benefit from it somehow. That makes sense. There we go, another wrench. Let's put it here because that's where the booster's going. It's not gonna get boosted by all these augments, but I can put an augment all around this now, and it'll still work. And now I throw twice as many wrenches. Aha! I don't like the claw bot I'm seeing shown. I don't like it. Oh, I do not want the claw. I do not wish to be chosen. I have no interest in what you're doing. You know, it's kind of worrying that that circle is shrinking. Oh, it is not choosing me for claw. It is choosing me for fiery death. That's even worse somehow. It just looks like a grabber in the upper left there. We know area doesn't work on the wrenches, so faster dodge. I'm gonna need it. Piercing also doesn't work on these. We could put ice on them. No, explosive wrenches. Explosive lightning wrench. Yes. This is such jank, but it's beautiful. Eventually, there will just be such a cloud of wrenches. Nothing will be able to stop me. Just keep drinking my oil. They can't kill me if I keep drinking. This is kind of working. It's not as fast as the Gatling gun was, but it's still not terrible. Like, this just needs a lot more time to cook, I think, than the other two builds did. And, you know, a certain amount of RNG cooperation. Okay, we ran out of time to kill him, so he just left. As much as I appreciate all of these damage-related things here, game, I don't mean to alarm you, but this isn't my... None of these are my primary damage type. I'll take just the flat explosive damage, though, because I don't want to lose crit chance, and impact damage is useless to us because these are energy and construct. The only reason we even have explosive damage at all is the explosive ammo. A third wrench. Yes. More explosive electric wrenches. Just keep increasing the coverage. If everywhere they go is damaged, they will never survive. Let them experience the existential pain themselves this time. We are definitely taking way more damage than I would like to, though. We're only alive right now because of all the oil cans still. So that's still a problem. More dodge charges is a neat idea, except for the fact that losing 20% of my health puts me in very bad shape. I think I'm taking the auto cannon again. Let's get some luck in here to see if that helps solve some of our problems. We could get a regular booster. That wouldn't reach most of what I would want it to. Because I would only ever be able to get it to touch one wrench, is it's a circular boost. It's not the worst thing, though. I could, like, put it over here where the electric ammo is or something. And buff both of these instead, or get a level 4 wrench. Now, the wrenches are all doing decently. Surprisingly, the level 3 one did the least damage. Even on that specific map, it just must have just not happened to hit things. We could also try to go for the 4% chance for everything to fire an additional projectile. You know what? That's an idea. Let's pre-set up. This won't do anything at the moment, is it doesn't have anything it can reach, but next round, if we survive, I can put something to connect this all up and start doing stuff with that. I'm kind of just banking on that extra percentage chance kicking in a decent amount so that we get more wrenches in play. But I really need to get to that oil can before bad things happen. There we go. You have money in your pockets. Give it to me. Man, I'm kind of regretting not getting those extra dodge charges right about now. Oh, I'm getting so hemmed in. Yeah, there was nothing I could do there. With that much health left, that many acid rains funneling around us, it was just over. But we unlocked Missile Swarm and Full Bore, so that's good. I think this was the original wrench, based on how much damage it did compared to the others. And the electric stuff was working, just not working a ton. Same with the explosive ammo. Precision munitions applied indiscriminately. Yep, that sounds about right. Okay, more projectile piercing. I do like Lucky. Let's go with the Missile Swarm. And we'll have Incendiary Missile Swarms. Because we haven't done an explosive build yet, so we'll just commit to explosive damage here. Get the regular rocket launcher, the swarm missiles, and some other stuff. This is when we never see any of those weapons ever during the run, but you know, that's the idea, that's the dream. Sure, I'll risk prototype again. I know there was a 7% chance of more projectiles, but I think the experience gain is going to be too good. That is pure explosive damage. I could get landmines, but meh. There we go, another missile swarm. I should have moved that down here so there'd be more room around this one, but it's fine. Why do I still only see one? I think I am firing more missiles, but I don't see... Oh, probably because they don't bother to move the arm for the missile swarm since they're homing missiles. So it just gets hard to tell how many missile swarms you actually have, unless you just sit there and missile count. God dang it. I'll take the extra free scrap. There's another missile swarm. We'll put a directional booster here. How do I rotate these? Oh, you don't. These just go in the direction they go, I think. I guess I'll put it here then. Boost the incendiary ammo in one of the missile swarms, and then we can put this other missile swarm like over here. What is this cactus up to? It's always like creeping on you through the newspaper, but why? What is its plan? Who does he work for? Does he even work for anyone? The world may never know the answer to any of these questions, and more. There we go. I missed a bunch of the scrap. There's the trusty tail gunner again. There we go, 30 scrap again. There we go, we can get breakthrough to balance out the prototype again. I could get another directional booster. Yeah. 3 missile swarms. All that do fire damage. Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. I really want to get some amount upgrades again for this because, you know, missiles. And more missiles. Did I mention missiles? Because if I didn't, that's a tragedy, and I need to mention more missiles. So far, this is working. Let's get some speed. Arc wave. Hey, there we go. Ask for the amount increaser, and so you shall receive. Get another directional booster going in an awkward direction. But it would be a usable awkward direction. Because it makes our incendiaries better, and now all of our missiles are better. Not all of them together, but you know. Another amount increase. Oh great, we've got our own counter battery fire coming in with the rocket drone. It's gonna be following me around. We're definitely getting more missiles though. Like substantially more missiles. So the cunning scheme is working out perfectly. I just need to keep running this loop so that I don't let the drone stay on my tail completely. Freely, but I'm still picking up the scrap. Yes, just flat explosive damage increased. Yes, please. More incendiary? Nah, we don't need more incendiary at the minute. This, however, is useful. Another direction booster. So now we got a level 3 missile swarm, and both the amount augments are boosted. I wonder if it is just like a 20% roll on the table and then another 20% roll on the table, or if it just makes it a 40% roll. So I would actually be happier with it being multiple 20% rolls with it being the amount augment. This fight got off to a fantastic start, thanks to there not being many targets on screen for the missiles to be distracted by. This, I think we found a winning setup here. Big surprise, missile spam being powerful. Go ahead and take last bot standing, because that's just a fantastic upgrade. We can get another booster. We can't really place that one in a great position based on our current setup here. We could get up to a level 4 incendiary ammo, though. That could be fun. But I think I'm gonna pass on that and just save boosting for when I have more directional boosters. Because I think just lining the outer edge with directional boosters is more valuable than putting the circular ones in. And my patience was rewarded with more missiles. And there's another mount increase. Can't fit it in yet, but we'll get it in the next round. That poor guy, he showed up early and just got obliterated with 12 missiles. He had no hope. He stood absolute zero chance. Shows up like, guys, I'm here to fight. Wait, where is everybody? Oh god, why is everything burning? And then, well, everything burned. Mostly him. This time it's worth it. The extra explosive damage and extra area, I'll happily give up crit chance for that. Let's go ahead and put the amount increaser right here. Does it boost these two? And now there's 20% on the missile 3 here. There's another directional booster we'll lock in. Heavyweight could be fun. Considering it's 22% more damage. We'll lock that in as well for the next map. The only unfortunate thing with this missile setup is destroy maps are actually like really bad for us value-wise, because we kill too fast. We just end up clearing the map before we have a chance to move around and pick up any of the scrap, so it just all goes to waste immediately. Not totally wasted, thankfully, but you get the point. Just hard to keep up with. I need to get some more speed. And we do have, of course, that big vulnerability in between missile volleys. This would probably be another one that would actually be pretty good to have manual fire for, so you can, like, independently fire the missile launchers. So they're a little more staggered. So they're not all chasing the same guy. Though it is funny watching just, like, 15 missiles going chasing after a specific enemy. Just fuck that guy in particular energy. Thing is, I can't put this heavyweight anywhere where it'll affect more than one launcher. That's the only bad thing about our current setup here. I'm thinking I'll put it here in the hopes that I get something I can put here that'll be affected by both of these amount increases. And it'll still be affected by a booster, making it 31% and more damage. It's just unfortunate that this is one of our lower level launchers. We're getting really lucky. That 3 luck I picked up seems to be really paying off. Then again, we also had some default bonus luck from being the slot machine too, so it all works out at the end of the day is what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm starting to get a goofy idea in my head. I won't explain the goofy idea I'm getting in my head because it's not related to what we're doing right now. Just expect that tomorrow's stream may be something a little bit more a little different from what I initially planned. I just got an idea. Ooh, cannot repair. Then why more oil canisters if you can't repair? Or does no, repair must be something other than... Oh, there we go. Regain this many health points every 25 seconds during a map, and each time you level up. Ah, okay. So basically you have to use oil canisters to heal then. Okay. That relies on you knowing the mechanics, but once you read it and actually look at all the information, it makes perfect sense. But I'm gonna keep boosting our luck, because we now have 6. I didn't get any scrap that round, though, which is sad. There's a regular rocket launcher. We'll snag that, too. Oh, God. Further proof that we can't destroy the turret, considering that entire swarm of missiles just went right past it, like it wasn't there. Thankfully, I can safely stay behind cover here and just let the missiles do the work. Honestly, it's kind of like being a minion summoner with the way these missiles are. Just let the missiles go off and do all the work, and then we clean up the prizes. That's about all we have to come out of cover for, is to collect our rewards. I'll risk my health a bit to just snag a bunch more, because we have a lot of stuff we're working towards here. Black gold, as usual, is really good because the cooldown reduction. And another rocket launcher has appeared. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay. So we put this directional booster here. And then we pick one of these launchers to put into play. And I feel like we want a rocket launcher just for variety's sake, which will also have a bunch of amount boosts on it. Hey, look, another directional booster. We'll go ahead and just lock that in too. Unfortunately, we won't be able to have directional boosters on all of the edges because of where I put one of the heavyweights, but that's fine. Well, one of the heavyweights, otherwise known as the only heavyweight we've gotten, but you get the idea. They've blocked me off from the oil cans. They know my weakness. They know I rely on those oil cans to live. Damage that would take you below 2 health leaves you at exactly 2 health instead. Damage taken while at 2 health or below is reduced to 1. Yeah, sure, plot armor sounds like a great idea right now. I do think I need that. We also didn't get, like, any of that scrap, so I'm just not even gonna bother looking at the shop right now. I'll just be sad. Oh, it's a boss round? Oh, we might be SOL here, actually. I need some oil cans to spawn, like, right now. Ow. Yep. I didn't realize that those homing orbs slowed that much, so I just immediately got screwed. That was a really good setup, though. That one missile launcher was going crazy. Oh, hey, that was a unique unlock, though, dying to him. We almost got him even with no health. And dying, like, immediately. Based on how much damage that rocket launcher ended up doing, I probably should have just went with another swarmer. Okay, yeah, 15% area, 18% duration. Not bad at all. Like, we mostly had really good RNG through that. Right, it's not flat plus 2 luck, it's luck every time you pick up an oil canister. Which we do pick up oil canisters pretty often. So that all ends up making sense and working out. And we're only down 2 health with Lucky. I do think Lucky is the way right now. But we do lose that 10% damage. I do want to revisit the missile swarm idea, I just don't want to repeat it right now. Same with the wrenches. You know what? Fisticuffs. This is gonna end in tears, but it'll be very funny. My lightning hands. Bang, zoom, pop, pow, biff. Other comic book sounds. You know, I just realized, by having just this one fist, I've turned this slot machine robot into a literal one-armed bandit. Oh wow, this is a weird layout. Not great for these horizontal directional boosters. It's not terrible, but it's not great. Oh, boosting anyway, because it's still decent value. And compared to the other options I had there, probably was the best value. We will lock that damage augment in for the future, though. Piercing, I don't think... Yeah, it doesn't matter. Amount also doesn't work on the Thumper. You won't just sprout extra hands, unfortunately. You can't make the hands bigger with area. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. It would be really funny, though, if you swung your fist and it just expanded. Just go full cartoon character and just, like, inflate your fist to punch somebody harder. Oh, we did see the stun come into play. This guy over here had the little, like, blue aura for a moment. There we go. The good news about being melee is I'm not gonna have to worry as much about not being able to pick up all of our scrap. Ooh, that's actually a good one because I can grab the speed. And look at the amount of territory it boosts. Like, that is massive value. There we go, there's another Thumper. And I won't worry about that directional booster. Remember when I said I wanted that damage augment? Yeah, that was before I saw a crazy length direction booster. Things change, that's all I'm saying. Things are subject to change at any given moment. But yeah, the only thing I'm gonna say about the potential change to tomorrow's idea is, let's just say it might involve crowd control. Because I may have just had an idea pop into my head. But I need to see if I can make it work before I reveal it. And there's also a world in which I will forget what this idea is by the time the stream ends. I did not pick up enough scrap that time, because apparently even in melee range, I can miss a lot of the scrap because I get bullied away from where my loot lands. Which, that does seem to be a dangerous factor in this game, is ending up in a position where you, like, fall behind on scaling because you didn't pick up enough of your loot. So you gotta be careful to actually replace your divots and clean up your mess, or you are gonna be in trouble. Because all the levels in the world don't seem to matter if you don't have your grid filled out reasonably well. The standing still damage doesn't help here. Additional projectiles doesn't work with our fists, so enemy spawns. Let's go ahead and slap the other fist down here so we can get a full set of coverage. It's very upsetting that we got 2 passive projectile increases when we're gonna be just punching. Makes me very sad. Explosive fist would be really funny too. Let's just add this damage augment to this one. But there we go. Now we got a proper left and right. Give me a left and a right. Give him a left and a right. Hit him so hard he doesn't know his left from his right. It's a real shame they can't damage themselves with their own dynamite. Or, you know, at least do monster-friendly fire. That would help a lot. Be really funny, too. That would probably make the game a little too easy if they could do damage to each other like that, based on how large their AoEs are and how small these maps are. Yeah, extra scrap drop. So many duration and range things. Duration and range do work on the Thumpers, though. I can have the spring-loaded punches have longer springs. Yeah, the area duration one doesn't help, but the duration and range one would. Let's go ahead and slap that here. Then we'll slap the other thumper here. And we'll just make a long line of thumpers. Yeah, you might be wondering where the third arm comes from, and I'm just gonna say I'm kicking them. What do you mean I don't have legs? That's fine. I'll find a way to kick them with no legs. Sometimes you just ask too many questions, random person on the internet who's asking me these questions that may or may not exist. Okay, the punch damage output is pretty good, but it is dangerous to try to punch this guy down. Because between his contact damage and his ring damage, it is a little rough to be near him. There we go. We did get him, though. Periodic damage for each point of repair is a neat idea, but we have no periodic damage. That's energy damage. Another thumper. Okay, okay. More duration and range as well. Go ahead and slap this one down here, I guess. Save that, but I'll reroll. Could be funny to put a booster right here. Just because I wanted to see what the level 5 version of duration and range looks like. And that's a pretty good upgrade there. That's a pretty good upgrade right there. And the booster returns. Okay. We got super stretchy arms now. Even with like a massive range increase, these fists don't go very far. That makes sense. It'd be kind of ridiculous if I could punch across the map. Anything that gets close to us, though, is just getting destroyed, which makes me happy. We just treat their existence like a speed bag. Just gone. Gone. No, that scrap was in reach. No. Okay. Either the 30 doesn't seem to count or the doubler. Another thumper. I don't have room for another thumper, though. At least not doing it the way I've been doing it, where I go in this line. But I can make it work, because I can put it here. This way it's attached to this booster, and it'll be able to be reached by that. Or I put it up here. Actually, I think I'll put it here. Get the faster dodge recharge, and I don't have to immediately purchase this opening. I'll instead put another duration of range. Like these, the strongest punch we have is going to be able to reach crazy distance. That's the idea here. Is that I'm just going to be leading with my strongest punch anytime I'm going after him. That's the idea. Just lead with the best punch, and then follow up with a bunch of little ones. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna shake that guy down. That's pretty much what we're doing at this point, is we're just shaking these guys down for their money and just beating them up. We are being swarmed by an army of angry nerds on the playground because we keep shaking them down for their lunch money. I think this is worth it. Okay, level 5 is the cap. I was curious about that. This way, this is now a level 3, and that becomes a level 2. Yeah. Area and duration doesn't help. Mount doesn't help. Cryocore could help. There's another punch. Yeah, let's slap an electricity over here, though, because it'll become a level 2, and then our other level 3 punch also has chain lightning potential. Mostly trying to just increase our area of effect now. Because if I'm only punching, then I have to have something other than the direct impact of the fists to use for a vector for damage. Unfortunately, I miscalculated on that because I was gonna dodge through them, hesitated because I realized I didn't have my second dodge recharged, and slapped right into that guy. This is a decent idea. We just ended up with a bad map layout when we were on low health. Real sad that that didn't unlock anything. Let's try the classic win by existing plan. Let's have that be a cryo field. Okay, there is some delay between those activating, though. Very effective when they do activate, but I'm gonna need multiple of these if I want just like the death aura effect to be going here for us. Because right now it's more like a spinning blade than a death aura. Good coverage when it is active, though. I'll give it that. And it'll be another case of actually having very little to worry about scrap collection-wise. This is another interesting layout. I really dislike the fact that it's surrounded by blocked-off spaces right up off the top, though. That's not fun. And of course, I'm betting with how many times I turned down the dynamo in the past, I'm just not gonna see any of them. Goddamn spiteful item pool like that. Spin. This is basically just the spin to win build at this point. We just spin and hope we win. You know what this build's really gonna need? Cooldown reduction. Or lots and lots of duration. One of the two. Those are gonna be the two biggest plays for this. Similar to the wrench plan, really. But without the fixation on getting more amount active. Which I do think is part of what killed the wrench build, is that I kept focusing on having an amount of wrenches in the air that just wasn't particularly feasible. Dang it, I was gonna jump down for the thing, but I didn't realize I was that close to finishing the round. You want that directional booster. So that's again not the greatest angle. In fact, no, I don't want that directional booster at all, because the main place I would put it ends up hitting another booster, and that doesn't matter. If it was going up and left, that would have been fantastic. But that's not what it was doing. So it ends up not mattering. Wow. This went from going really well to suddenly, ow. That seems to be the way of this one, though, is you go from doing really well to, ow, everything is pain. So then again, that kind of ends up being a genre thing to a certain degree entirely. I would love the extra scrap drop, but I think I need the repair and duration upgrade there. There we go, there's another aura. Go ahead and put it here. The faster dodge recharge and the booster. And not to mention having space around it. I could have put it here, though. And skipped out on the dodge recharge to have it be also a cryo spin. That might have been a better idea. Could throw explosive ammo on one of them. Just have, like, exploding AoE. Nah. Well, rip. There we go, there's another aura. If I live through this round, I think we'll start taking off. That is an idea, though. I could just have all of my auras be different colors. Just become Rainbow Death. This is actually like a horrifically bad modifier for us to have for this build. Because we're having to constantly be running away already anyway. So we're forced to not be able to turn around and go back for a swing at the enemy or anything. And we're just not getting any oil can drops. And since this is a kill one, we're just across the board in trouble here. Bomb boys off my back at least. Wow, our pickup range must really be bad, because I thought I picked up that gear and it just sat there and went, nah. We're almost out of this, though. We're almost free. Yeah, we lived. Yeah, the extra dodge charge is gonna be important, I think. Throw this over here. Even though it's only a level 1, it'll still have a nice damage bonus attached to it. This directional booster will also be fantastic, because that'll get all 3 of our dynamos. This boss fight, though, might be the end of this run here. Just because it's another case of I have to stay real close to him, and our damage output ain't the best. I may actually have to just, like, mulligan out of this boss fight. And just let him escape. On the bright side, at least these boss fights do give a decent amount of oil, so maybe, just maybe, I can make this work. Just have to be real careful not to dodge into him, like I did with the punching round. Because dodging into him like a silly man was okay when I had the extra leeway of punch reach. Getting a lot of area bonuses might actually be necessary for this build. So that these auras reach out a little further. Yeah, he got away. We almost turned that around once we picked up some oil, though. There we go. Large increase in our power here. Yeah. Just desperately need some area increases now, and we'll be so in business, I think. Or, you know, I'm just gonna get shot to death immediately. That's also an option, I guess. Because while we're not quite dead yet, the odds have suddenly started looking way worse. Thankfully, we do have a little bit of regen. Just not much. I thought I was out of range of that. I should have just hedged my bets and dodged. That's completely on me. We got the vortex augment, though. What does that do? Periodically pulls in enemies that wander too close. Okay. Interesting. Oh. I don't know why the tooltip is hovering here right now, but to discover an evolved weapon, you need to attach its specific rank 3 augment to its matching rank 3 weapon. So it's rank 3 you need. Okay. I don't know why the tooltip was stuck there, though. That was a little weird. Yeah, we need 50% explosive damage, 50% periodic damage, 50% construct. We haven't really done much with construct damage. At least not specifically construct damage. Let's go nuclear football, then. See how that works out for us. Okay, I can't get the vortex. 5 maps without taking damage. Beat the game with a shotgun and final boss on any difficulty. Oh, begin the game with shotgun and reach the final boss. That makes more sense. Begin with the bat. Machine gun, reach final boss. Okay, so a bunch of the augments are dependent on starting and winning with weapons. Oh, I got so close to that one. The drop to 1 health and still complete the map. Let's just go amount. Assuming the amount works on the football. Oh, this is gonna be such a jank weapon, but it'll be funny. Oh, and I can actively kick them around. Ooh. Boop. Boop. So I'm basically just playing Death Pool over here. Where I've got to get my angled shots to work out. Boop. Yeah, they didn't really work out there at all. That was just a bad one entirely. Just kicked right through the enemy. Booster. Don't seem to really need to worry about area or duration. I think no. Let's continue committing to the single item plans still. Cool for the memes. You want both of those. Yeah, duration doesn't seem to matter because these basically seem to stay on the map until they hit enough times. So presumably duration, unless it increases the amount of hits they can do, wouldn't matter. We could also just use these like landmines, which is why I was debating adding landmines to the roster here. These bombs are satisfying, but they're a little jank to work with, that's for sure. We'll go ahead and get the leveler ahead of time. Persistent augments can be attached to upgrades with the persistent tag. Their effect is then spawned from the objects, turrets, landmines, etc. created by the upgrade they are attached to. Oh, because the vortex augment appeared. The vortex augment with the football might actually be hilarious. We just have no scrap as I botched that whole round. I mean, as far as collecting goes. I was too busy over here playing soccer. Or when I'm supposed to be making money. Like, this is a very fun weapon. It doesn't seem like resoundingly effective yet, but there is definitely potential where this could actually be very effective. I could get more than 1 copy of the leveler? Okay, sure. Just keep raising my damage potential then, sure. Go ahead and slap a vortex augment in here. Oh, okay. Fundamental misunderstanding has been corrected. This directional booster. Oh, right, I did already select that one. Be safe. Do I want the explosive ammo? This already does mostly explosive damage. Which, if we win with this, I assume it'll count for both the explosive and the construct one if we can get it to be nice and even. Which would be an incredible play on my part. Which is probably why that's not gonna happen. But there's a chance. Yeah, I can just basically use these nuclear footballs like I use explosives in a lot of games. Just set traps with them. Just bounce them off the nearest wall towards my target instead of direct attacks. That plan did not work out at all. That plan might have backfired as much as possible. Area does work on them, but I presume it only makes the explosion bigger. Still has potential. First, direction booster. Actually, yeah. Good, the area augment does work on the vortex. Is the larger we can make the vortexes, the more the enemies will get pulled into the football of their own volition. They'll be too tempted by the idea of kicking the football. Well, and then they explode. Problem is, this weapon does kind of need a target-rich environment to really work. At least when I don't have multiple of them. Which, you know, it'd be nice for the game to give me more of them, but it seems not very interested in giving me more of them right now. It seems much more interested in killing me. Which, you know, that is its job. The game is supposed to try to kill the player. So, you know, fair play and all that. Okay, we got one hit point. If I can... No, I healed. Damn it. I was gonna say, if we could just stay at one hit point and win the map, that would have been great. Imagine if the missiles there killed me. Just imagine that. Decoy might actually be huge, because it gives us a way to have something to distract them with while we kick a ball in their direction. I'll go ahead and put another amount upgrade on here, since we apparently can't get another goddamn nuclear football. Cooldown reduction could be fun. Wait. Wait. Did that gain a level? I swear that just became a blue icon at that moment. I think I may have just learned a mechanic there. Because I think without a booster, they may, like, match the level of the highest augment next to them, maybe? Actually, no, because there's two boosters on it, so it's supposed to be level 3. Maybe it just changed color because it updated? Like, the icon just for some reason didn't update when it got boosted before? I don't know. My guys may also just be playing tricks on me. Football. Kicked that completely the wrong direction because I was trying to protect myself at the same time. Dang it, ran out of time. Dodge charges. There's a football. And yeah, there's two boosters pointing at this. I was just completely talking out of my ass there. Football. The more of them I can spawn, the better off I'll be. We had a lot of them in play in that last fight. Because we can just litter the map with these and, like I said, just use them as traps. Instead of needing to be actively kicking them at the enemy. You know, in a post-apocalyptic world, this is what Soccer Kid becomes, apparently. There's something nobody's gonna understand what the hell I'm on about with that. And if you do understand what I'm talking about, I don't know what to do with you. I can't help you. You are in the same boat I am. The boat is sinking and we lost the oars a long time ago. Good luck. I was gonna buy this booster, but I can actually buy both. That one over here. Now we have level 4 nuclear football and multiple level 3 amount augments on it. And then we'll put this one pointing down towards this one. Just gonna litter my way to victory. That is apparently the strategy of this setup, is just littering until you win. This, you know what? The acid rain makes a lot of sense with what we're using here. That seems like the perfect follow-up to me being incredibly irresponsible and littering death all over the field. Now, go ahead and give me the matter duplicator. Since we're aiming for a bunch of extra amount. Ooh, just a flat level 3 E nuclear football. Thank you. Can't afford it yet. Oop. Level 1, though. Level 1, though. Ah. Even more ball. We are balling. We are balling. We are balling. They are balling. Also, I only just now noticed what our decoy is. Just the little springy guy right there. So I may or may not have forgotten that we had decoy on this setup. I need to make sure to retrace my steps so I get all that scrap. Because otherwise this round's gonna end like that. As long as you have exactly 2 weapon systems, gain 20% damage and 10 luck, currently inactive. Yeah, because we have lots of nuclear footballs at this point. We'll go ahead and take the experience gain. And I'll take... Oh, the construct damage would actually be really nice here, but I'm going to take the scrap so we can... Yeah, I still couldn't afford it. That's what I was afraid of. Damn. Damn it, damn it, damn it. More vortex, then. Hey, another football. We can just have an entire sports store chock full with explosives and everything will be great. Whenever the cooldown runs out, you can definitely tell because just suddenly like 5 footballs appear immediately. Ow. I was distracted kicking a ball, and then I got shot. I was greedy. That was a fun setup, but that was my own fault. I spaced for a second. Oh, hey, we did get the leech ammo unlocked, though. Because apparently we did complete a map with 1 health. Oh, wait, yeah, because it only had to drop to 1 health. It didn't have to stay there at the end of the map. So the one we did have that happen uncounted. Okay, but it's only like an 8% chance. Cooldown is shared with each attached weapon system as well, so they can't all independently heal you. But it does do independent damage too, which is nice. Have we done an energy damage focused setup yet? Technically, the energized spanner was our energy setup, I guess. Yeah, because the arc wave was more periodic than energy. We don't actually have anything that's pure energy. Now that I look around. Let's see, what haven't we started with yet? We haven't started with base machine gun. We haven't started with the shotgun. Both of these unlock something. Let's go shotguns only. Let's try shotguns only and give us some leech ammo. We don't need to worry about the impact damage being the only thing we have for this. But I think it'll just be funny having just like a ton of shotguns. And this way we might actually get out of hard difficulty into the next difficulty. So y'all get to see more of the difficulties of the game in action. We'll take the repair and duration. The duration's not really that important, it was more the repair. I don't really think we want vortex for this. I don't know how well that would work. Booster. We could slap explosive rounds on these shotguns too, and try to make a play for having our explosive rounds be strong enough to count as the other half of our damage, so that we get the explosive unlock at the same time. But we'll see if I can make something happen with that. One way or the other, it's going to magnify the shotgun's damage, so it's important. And we can just now envision every pellet out of the shotgun being a tiny, tiny, tiny rocket. Very, very tiny, tiny, tiny rocket. Dang it. I was trying to go for the don't take damage on the map thing, but I just was slightly sloppy and got tagged. Take the experience gain. You get another leech ammo, but I don't really know if multiple leech ammos would help. I do wonder, do they just intend for you to just straight up just keep trying random things to get the evolutions? I would assume that's the case. Makes me wonder what the specific augment to combine with a shotgun would be. It might even be the leech ammo, actually. Or we might... It could be either of the ones we have right now. We just need both to be level 3. I don't think I've had a level 3 shotgun and a level 3 explosive rounds in the same spot at the same time yet. And of course, we haven't had level 3 leeching rounds at all yet. Sure. Projectiles no longer lose damage when piercing, so we can add piercing to the shotguns and have them be effective. I do want that booster because that's a really good angle. There's another level 2 shotgun. I could just, like, load every ammo type into this shotgun, like every pellet's a different ammo type. And that would be very silly. I don't know how effective it would be, but it would be very funny. Because we were gonna do the same thing with the spinners. Nah, I think I'll hold off for the moment. Driving around, me and my shotgun, just blasting all these daggum robots that are busting my chops, just getting in my way. Just keep on blasting. Want all of this scrap. I took a lot of damage to get it, but I wanted all that scrap. Let's see. Less experience from kills, but more health. I'll risk the aerodynamics this time. That might very well be a terrible idea, but I'm gonna try it. At least now we have 2 shotguns. That just seems so overkill, watching both shotguns go off on the same target immediately like that. Still not as overkill as the, like, 12 missiles we were hitting things with before, but, you know. Overkill is overkill. At the same time, there is no kill like overkill. And if you notice sometimes I'm driving really weird, it's because I'm clearing notifications at the same time. My eternal multitasking self. Didn't quite get all of them. Gunbot, there we go. Get us some extra impact damage. Yeah. We'll grab that. A booster now, so we have 2 level 3 shotguns. Area and duration, neither of which take effect here, so ignore those. Put a second explosive ammo in, though. This way the other shotgun also has it. And we have a double load of explosive ammo in the first shotgun. Which I presume works? To no one's surprise, this is reasonably effective, but not resoundingly effective. You can tell the leeching ammo is going off, by the way, because you see the hearts fly back towards us. I also only just now realized that there's like a heart trail that the bullets leave that have the leeching ammo attached to them. Which is just really funny to me. You know what? Sure, a natural matter duplicator. Sure, why not? We could push all of these to the high enough level for evolution by this booster. Okay, these are not valid for evolution, presumably, then. Because it just said you had to attach a level 3 to a level 3. And I assume level 3 or higher would be valid, so... It's not leech ammo or explosive ammo, then. Unless maybe it has to be a natural 3. It can't be boosted to that. If so, that's actually really difficult to do, because we've seen very few natural 3s of anything. Same goes for if it's like you have to place the 3 on the other 3. That still makes it very difficult, because you have to then prepare the boosters ahead of time, which isn't the worst, but it's a little rough. More matter duplicators. Sure. Keep boosting this explosive ammo for fun. You know, I wonder if the vortex augment is what this wants. Sure. And now it's showing red. Can the shotgun not take vortex ammo? If it shows red, that tells you it's not gonna work. So yeah, I'm gonna assume then that you can't use the shotgun and the vortex together. I could be barking up the wrong tree entirely with that, but that is my presumption based on the way that is presented to me. And if that information is inaccurate, the developers may want to consider adjusting how that is presented to the player. I do want to do at least one run of manual aiming as well. just so we see how that is in this game, since some of these games do manual aiming in a way that doesn't entirely work well. And it's an important thing to just make sure is covered. Oil cans heal you for an additional health. Seems like a good idea with the way our health is in shambles right now. On the bright side, profitable. There we go, level 5 shotgun. Which there's also a world in which the evolution thing was mistyped as well, where it's like 5 and 5 instead of 3 and 3. It is a little weird that the evolution effect would trigger on something that isn't max level. You know, how about electric ammo? Nope, that's not the evolution either. I can't really fit the incendiary ammo on there in a way that would level it up enough. I may throw it in there anyway, just because. The chain lightning should do enough more for us. It really does struggle to load sometimes, though, which is very weird for the way this game is designed. That is something they may want to take a closer look at. Need to get to those oil cans. God damn it! I pressed dodge, but I guess I was just a frame too slow. Parasite cannon. Kill 3,000 slimes of any kind. Interesting. Like, you probably heard the spacebar get clicked right as that happened. Launches parasites at enemies that deal damage over time to their host and explode afterwards. Pure periodic damage. Hates anything but the gun itself. You know, it might be a neat idea to go parasite cannon with leech ammo. And see if the leech ammo triggers each time the parasite ticks, or if it's just on initial contact. Yeah, least favorite enemy, those Dillos, because we've taken so much damage because I'm not paying attention to them and suddenly they roll into me. And it's entirely on me that I'm not paying attention to them. The fact that defeating the final boss with Lucky at all is on the list here definitely tells me that maybe it's not the best. Yeah, we'll try starting with the leech cannon. And with leech ammo. And maybe that's the evolution for it, is leech ammo parasite. Oh, actually, let's have this be the one I'm manually aiming for. Howdy, Gab. Good luck with the adulting, and thank you as always for coming in and always having something positive to say. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, the idea behind me manually aiming the parasite gun was going to be making sure to separate out, making sure that it gets spread to as many targets as possible. We could try going for duality with this too. You know what? That'll be a fun extra thing to go for. With manual aim or manual aim on toggle, aim modes, most weapons can be manually aimed. Additionally, you can choose per weapon if you want that weapon to be autonomous or respond to your manual aim setting. Navigate to the weapon on your grid to change the aim setting. Okay, yeah, you press spacebar to toggle that. Makes sense. We definitely want a directional booster with how long a path it has right there. Oh, I see. They're not quite a straightforward projectile. They seem to be homing. So it's actually kind of ignoring my input a bit. So this isn't quite the ideal manual aim choice, is what I'm getting at. We'll take black gold again. Mount could be really fun with the parasite cannon. Electric ammo also could be very funny, though. Yeah, sure, we'll go with the electric ammo. This way, they're just getting electrified the entire time. And we'll go ahead and turn manual aim off. It clearly isn't really the one with this weapon. And it's also proving to be much harder for me to keep collecting scrap when I have to manually aim. Which makes sense, is focus splitting and everything. Is, you know, you also have to add the streamer debuff on top of that, where I'm focusing on trying to keep talking to y'all at the same time. And it's honestly more important that I keep the running line of thought going than it is for us to do well every time. You know, I wonder if the parasite counts as a debuff for the purposes of peer-to-peer. If it does, I could then just start spreading the parasites from target to target without even needing to fire. Let's give it a try. Get some repair so we have some regen. And get another leech ammo. But instead I'm gonna get this booster. Okay, if it is at level 3 and these two are the ones needed for the evolution, then it did not happen. Sad. Unless maybe it's another one of those games that puts the evolution item into the pool, and then it has to show up in the shop after you achieve the evolution requirement. Which is possible. Like, I would not rule that out as a possibility. It does not seem to be spreading the parasites, as far as I can tell, so I don't think it works for peer-to-peer. That is not the correct type of debuff for that. So, I guess it would, like, spread burn, or slow, or... I'm not sure what else it would spread, then. Because those are the only other negative effects I can think of we have in this game. Critical level 3. I mean, this is an augment, so you know what? That's not the evolution item either. No one can say I didn't try. Since it was a natural level 3, I figured I may as well give it a chance. And since we're going low amount of weapon systems, critical chance might actually be a big saving grace for this. Oh, and in other news, Sulfur's gotten a couple more nice updates, so that may get put back on the table relatively soon, because it has another big update that they announced as well. Ooh, 10% chance to turn enemies into nanobot turrets on death. Increases with luck. But it's impact and construct damage. Am I worrying about getting purely periodic damage for this run, though? I mean, even then, we probably would still end up with greater than 50% of it being periodic. And this feels fitting with putting parasites in your enemies. You put the parasite in them, and then when they die, they pop out a turret, and the turret is essentially the end result of the parasite. I feel like that actually makes logical sense. There's our second parasite cannon. Go ahead and attach that to the leech ammo too. And now our duality's active, so we have a lot more luck. Again, lots of... I've noticed that heavyweight augments seem to almost always be like level 3. I've not really seen it very often at lower than that. Enjoy your parasites, you bastard man. Oh wow, you can stack more parasites on a target too. Look at that health drain. He's just getting devoured from the inside out. That is such a shame for him. Such a shame. I would say it's liquefying his insides, but they're already liquid. And if you think that was a horrifying sentence, good news, it was. Yeah, we'll take leeching nanobots as well. That fits together with what we're doing here. Go ahead and slap the heavyweight augment over here. That's not the evolution item either. Because I would assume even if we don't have the evolution item pop up over here, if that's how that works, it would still show it in the list down underneath here. If we put the right thing next to it. So what is the right thing? Mystery of mysteries. Look at all the weapons it's decided to give me, too. 4 out of 5 of these items are weapons. Synergy augment? Nope. We've done a lot for this parasite cannon, but none of it's correct. Sad. Even more weapons. Literally every item here is a weapon. I think they're trying to tell me something. I'm ignoring what they're trying to tell me, but I think they're trying to tell me something. Oh yeah, and I had originally intended to cover multiple games today. I think we'll just do a 1-game day today, since we've actually sunk into this pretty well for a good amount of time already. And I have a lot of time left for those other keys, so it's not like it's desperate, oh god, I must do those keys right now or I will run out of time. Because we're basically in that position again of I'm unlocking things just quick enough to keep myself hooked. But you know, blessing and curse there. I do kind of wish this game had a pickup range upgrade though, because that is probably my only complaint. Is I have to basically touch every item in order to pick it up, which is where a lot of our deaths come from, trying to get a hold of all the items. Like, I'm not saying give me a way to pick up everything on the screen like we do in a lot of these, but like maybe some minor pickup range upgrades being available might help out a bit. We could make that critical augment level 5. But it's probably gonna go down here instead. Oh, this blocks the booster. That really sucks. Oh, we'll fix that in a little bit here. Get another heavyweight augment. Sure. Because we can make it a higher one to make this parasite cannon a little more relevant. That was a misplay, but it's fine. I should have spent the remaining scrap on opening that path up instead. I wonder if it's got like a leak of some kind, because it seems to be taking longer to load the longer the game's open. So I may give it a quick reboot, because it takes basically no time to restart this game. So after this run, I might do that. Though it doing that after only like 2.5 hours is mildly concerning. Not an impossibility, but interesting concepts, I suppose is the way to put that. Yeah, I did not pick up nearly enough of the scrap there. Breakthrough. We don't really want the standstill whole thing. We'll take the repair because we have a synergy between our periodic damage and our repair. I mean, that's an option. Yeah. This way we have level 5 critical augment and a level 4 cannon. That cannon actually does a lot of damage. 54 DPS is pretty wacky. Oh, it's a turret. This is kind of another weapon where I can afford to just chill back there, but only if I was killing them fast enough. It's just more a matter of I could chill back there as far as not needing to aim goes. I think these would curve around the wall and be fine. Thankfully, we do have all that repair now, so we can kind of keep ourselves in this. The fact that they put all the oil cans in front of him is so mean. Oh, I almost died there. I timed the dodge wrong, and I thought it was going to end soon enough. There we go. Make the heavyweight 8 max level synergy level 4. Yeah. Well, we have a lot of doubled scrap at least. We just need to be able to do anything with it. Make sure to keep parasiting all the missile launcher guys as fast as I can. Just like on sight, they get parasited. Otherwise, we're SOL. Ow, 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 ow. Everything is danger. I don't like it here. I would like to be anywhere else. There we go. Good. He did get parasited. Oh boy. No, 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 no. I do not wish to be surrounded. No, thank you. No, sir. Kindly do not. We could get another copy of Leeching Nanobots to make all of our periodic damage higher. Because that's... 7% times 5 is 35. So that would... As long as they combine completely, that would be 70% more damage between the two copies of Leeching Nanobots. If it's 35% and then another 35%, it's a little bit less than that. That or last bot standing. Because we do end up getting damaged a lot and then healing back up. I think the going back and forth is too inconsistent. We'll take the guaranteed constant 35% extra there. I don't really need another copy of Leeching Rounds because I already have it in the middle between those. We could try going for an amount increase. This one. Reduced cooldown could also be fun. Just have one that makes a lot of them and one that makes stronger ones, essentially. Because we do kind of need something to keep the chaff under control that's constantly on our tail. Ooh, getting slowed there was devastating. Yeah, those tracking shots might be his most powerful advantage here. Because the like field curtain thing he does there really isn't too big a deal. As long as you're paying attention. Which most of the time I have been. Most of the time. This stuff, though, the stuff that's constantly pursuing you, that gets a little upsetting. He's almost dead, though. Parasites are doing him in. Polarity glitch will actually be helpful here. I have very specific things I'm looking for. That'll allow that to go up to 3, and if a mount is the one we're looking for, then that'll work. That is not the evolution component either. Okay. I'm running out of ideas for what the evolution component attached to Parasite Cannon could be. It might even be one we haven't unlocked yet. My complete lack of success rate with the evolution mechanic does make me a little sad. Vortex work with that? It does. More oil canister spawns. That also isn't the evolution thing. But I wonder, does that mean that the vortex is gonna spawn off of the guy that has the parasite in them? If so, that's actually huge. I just dodged straight into a wall trying to take a shortcut. We got a decent bit of scrap there. Maxed out Vortex Augment. We are out of room around all of these Parasite Cannons at this point. So if I want to keep duality, we kind of have a problem here. We're kind of fishing for boosters that point down here, basically. Round boosters will also work. I can put one, like, down in here now. I would be best served by putting it here, because at least I would get 2 items worth of value out of it. Everywhere else I put it, I only get 1, because most of the rest of these are already a level 5. Yeah, see, it just keeps taking longer occasionally, though. It is weird. And yeah, the vortex does seem to be originating from the guy who's parasited. So that could actually be really good if the vortex is strong enough and there's enemies near enough to the one parasited with the vortex parasite. And it honestly just makes these parasites even more concerning, because now they're basically just creating a miniature black hole inside the one that they're eating. And that just has, you know, connotations that are just spooky, to put it mildly. On the bright side, this is one of our more durable setups, even not taking into account the max health, just the amount of life steal and amount of repair that I have. Let's go ahead and actually take slow and steady. We get less money and less experience, but that amount more damage is worth it. Built to last as well. That one is a valid direction. That would allow me to make that Parasite Cannon level 5. We'll lock that in. We'll put it on one of these positions in the future. I'll make that decision in the next round. Unless we get something really good when we finish this round. Which is entirely possible. If I don't end up going for the crowd control idea that I'm considering for tomorrow, we'll either play God of Weapons because it has DLC that I picked up for a couple bucks, which is ended up being really cool, or we'll do another Lurkit thing tomorrow. We got options for tomorrow is what I'm getting at. And I'm currently just leaving those options open because I'm not 100% sure what I want to do. but I have no collaborative thing intended or designed for tomorrow. I had pitched ideas, but they ended up not getting really followed up on this time around because I think people had enough other plans already that it didn't quite work. Even more periodic damage. Very good, very good. Because these parasites are pure periodic damage. We already did all of our upward pointing boosters, so that's useless. Go ahead and slap that there. So we have a maxed out cannon. Now I'm never gonna see a downward pointing booster, am I? I know how it works. I know I'm not gonna get what I want. God damn it, I'm gonna try. Thinking about it. It is considering whether to let me into the level or not. There we go. I mean, I suppose my parasite cannons probably wouldn't be allowed most places, huh? It would probably be massively illegal on the ethical warfare or front. So ethical warfare is a hell of a sentence in and of itself, isn't it? Oh god. These stages are so brutal. I got stuck. Please repair, kick in. Please, enough things die so I can leave. I know I missed a lot of scrap there, but I would rather live. Get some more luck in the hopes that good things happen. 13% more damage or 35% again. Get 35% again. We also got a lot of levels out of that, apparently. More oil cans, because the repair is not keeping up with the danger we're in. One going to the right isn't a bad thing to see, because I can put it here, but we don't need the construct damage. I would have loved to have, once again, had the downward pointing one to turn all of these into 4s and get us that oil can spawn. Just not gonna see what I'm looking for. They don't want me to have it. Yeah, stage without a turret in the middle of it should be fine. Looks like we got a regular enemy fight coming up. So we should be A-okay. Oh, it's got spinners in it. That's not great, but that's okay. And it's littered with dillos and tanky boys, which isn't great either. Lasers are not ideal, but they're workable. I really need to get another dodge charge. I think that's going to be our failing point here. Because there's just going to be so much for me to try to keep ahead of, and I just won't have my dodges ready. Yeah, we didn't get the dodge back in time. We got a lot out of that, though. We got the Hollow Cutter for 5,000 enemies, the Boomerang for Slime Boss Senior, Heavy Munitions for 8,000 scrap, and Momentum Springs for having 250 scrap in my inventory at one time. I feel like a couple of those I had triggered already, but whatever, game. Extra movement speed after a dodge, which isn't that exciting. The Boomerang. You really want to carefully catch this one on the way back. Tosses an arcing boomerang that explodes on hitting an enemy, continuing as many enemies as the pierce value of the boomerang, subject to normal damage penalties on piercing. So it's explosive and energy. It seems like it acts exactly the same as the wrench, though, in that it just kind of orbits around. And then we have the Hollow Cutter. It slices, it dices, freshly chopped slime made fast and easy. Launches energized saw blades, effortlessly slicing through any enemies in their path. Oh, that's a pure energy weapon. That's actually something I was looking for, because we really didn't have a pure energy weapon. Y'all know how much I like my saw blade launcher or type weapons, so I'm all for this. We'll do the boomerang next. Let's just fully commit to the energy. We'll add chain lightning to our saw blades. Oh, right, I still have manual aiming on, which is fine for this. Is this way I can aim it into the largest cluster of them myself instead of relying on the game to pick a target. Last spot standing as usual. Extra duration for these would be good, and now we have 2 saw blade launchers already. So it seems like they're firing together. Fun fact about manual aiming, you don't seem to have manual fire control, you just have manual aiming. So I can't actually like choose when these fire, they're just firing. Which that's a little bit unfortunate. You would figure it would also give you manual fire control. But on the bright side with manual aiming, I can actually choose not to keep killing for a moment here so I can pick up more of the scrap from in one of these stages. Let's not go for duality again right now. I would actually rather have lots of saws. Vortexes for the saws could also be really good. But they don't stick around long enough, so I'm not sure I want that right now. A mount could be funny, but a mount is always funny. If I didn't have these blocked off zones, I'd be a lot more interested in this directional booster that's sitting here. And of course, oh right, it's a sale item. Right, never mind, that makes sense. Do these get affected by area? They don't, so you can't send out giant saws. Let's go ahead and see how well it auto-aims, though. I'm curious. These are affected by pierce. They have natural 2 piercing. I'll just hold on to my money. Oh yeah, now they're gonna independently aim though, so that's actually a good thing. That's one benefit of the auto aim. You would figure manual aim would let you aim them separately. Maybe there is a way and I just wasn't doing it right. But wherever I pointed my mouse cursor, all of my weapons pointed there. So manual aim might actually just be inferior in this game compared to auto aim. Like maybe if I tried with a controller, maybe like left and right sticks would manipulate different weapons. I don't know. This is a pure energy weapon, so that doesn't help. Extra knockback, just in general. Now, give me the faster dodge recharge. We need it. That's got really good coverage, otherwise I would have put it one further to the side to have the luck bonus. But I didn't want to lose that tile. I want the money. Nope, you get back here. I'm gonna shake you down for all your dollars. You know, I guess at this point we're literally just scrapping them. We're just a mobile chop shop, tearing them down to parts. Which is kind of screwed up when you think about it, isn't it? A robot scrapping other robots for parts. There's the boomerang. We're not looking for that right now. That's again the wrong direction. That's the right direction, sort of. We can do that and then get the electric ammo upgraded. Except now we'd have to go through all of those, so no, this one's actually like really bad right now. Let's get a cooldown reduction for that one. In this particular configuration, it might actually almost be better to go back to the circular boosters. Barring one that's pointing down and right so I can get both my saw blades upgraded. Aha! We found an evolution. Cooldown reduction and the bounce cutter. Oh! So now instead of cutting through the enemies, it evolves into the bounce cutter, which does what I thought this was originally going to do, which is bounce from target to target. So it is level 3. Must be at least rank 3. Okay. So these don't necessarily connect in a way you might expect them to, because I did not even consider cooldown reduction being the option for this to turn into its thing. But hey, we found one. We got our first evolution. And it even looks different. You can see that it's got an orange line on it instead of a blue one. And the actual saws are orange too. It's kind of like getting a shiny version of the weapon instead of the regular one. It would be kind of nice if they added like more distinction between those, but it's fine. Like that's more being picky than it being a real issue. Extra experience from kills is definitely the choice there. Now that we know that, we want another cooldown augment for down here so we can get more bounce cutters. I also wouldn't mind, you know, game, getting more saw blades at all. Because at this rate, I may as well have taken duality. At least then I'd be benefiting. But, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Oh yeah, wasn't I? Yeah, I was supposed to reboot the game to see if that would make the load time thing stop. Ah, well. That just goes to show how easy it is to keep looping with this. Though that is definitely a genre specialty, I would say. Is people just continuing to loop, playing it over and over again, just one more time, just one more time. There's a bunch of stuff out there that's just like, just one more turn, just one more run, just one more try. And it remains impressive every time. It's like, you don't even realize that it's happening entirely. It just kind of worms his way in there, and it's just like, oh, I just did like 30 runs without realizing that this was happening. Huh. Well, there went that day. Which is by no means a bad thing. It's just an interesting thing to think about. Let's just straight up replace this electric ammo. I don't really need to be putting piles of electric ammo copies around, I don't think, in this case. I gotta remember that this isn't maxed out, it's just golden because it's evolved. There we go. Just keep pushing this up. 30% cooldown reduction is also pretty nice. It's definitely nifty. Is that the word I want for that? Yeah, sure, nifty's a good enough word for that. So we might be done here. Is we are hurting. And I think we don't have any repair or anything. So I'm reliant on waiting for an oil can to spawn. One did, I just need to be able to get there now, alive. A little bit of heal. Definitely need more than that before I start to feel comfortable. Though being too comfortable is also a very dangerous thing, as we've proven in this genre of game repeatedly. I'll take the instant 30 on that one. That's again the wrong direction. Heavyweight... yeah, sure, because that'll get immediately upgraded to max, so that's perfect. So these saw blades start hitting like a house. I'm not sure the saw blade damage is a problem. at this point. I feel like there's a lot of ancillary things other than the individual saw blade damage that I need to worry about. But the bouncing saw blade being the one that has the most damage is the sensible option, so that it actually will spread its damage in the most worthwhile way it can. Because the weaker one just passes right through. There's no guarantee that you'll get value out of that. Whereas the bouncer is pretty much guaranteed value no matter what it hits, because it will guaranteed go and bounce to something else. No. There's another hollow cutter. Go ahead and put that right there because it becomes level 3 straight away. And another one, sure. Instant level 3 over here, which is an instant additional bounce cutter. And we get the luck. Ah! We've suddenly magnified our power immensely. Because we doubled the amount of saws we have. Now it's struggling again. Huh. Maybe it's just certain stages that's struggling on, because we had a moment earlier in this very run where it wasn't that bad. Maybe it's just, like, you get to a critical mass point of too many weapons and too many spawns and starts just losing its mind a little bit. Didn't have a dodge ready. We definitely need a certain amount of field control, and we don't entirely have it. Yeah, plot armor would be a good idea here. Just to keep us alive. We got 2 saws here, and I can't afford either of them. This is a sad day. We could get a vortex. I don't think that works here, though, because they still don't last very long. So the vortexes would then not last very long as a direct consequence. In brighter news, I more or less have a raid target picked out, unless they happen to only go for an hour, which would be a little weird, but not impossible. Is fun fact, probably only gonna keep going for another, like, hour. 4 hours is probably good for today. Ah! I don't like the club guys. They keep catching me with, like, a pixel of the edge of their club attack so consistently. I don't blame the game for that. I do think that's probably a me issue, not a game issue, where I just assume that the attack's not gonna reach, and then I get clobbered. Okay, let's go ahead and do that quick reboot, though, that I was talking about. The longest part of that's gonna be just waiting for Steam to let me restart the game. Making sure OBS is paying attention to it. Yep, very good. See if that cleans up the level loading issues. Okay, we have to reach the final boss with the fire extinguisher and reach the final boss with missile swarm to get the last 2 weapons. Let's try... Oh no, Vortex isn't here. I was gonna say, let's try Vortex Boomerangs, but Vortexes aren't luck-based, so that makes sense. Let's go Leeching Boomerangs, then. Oh, okay, they don't quite fly the same way as the... Turn automatic aim back on. In the little preview they show, they look like they fly the same way as the wrenches, which are just an orbital around you, unless you move. This is, it flies forward and then comes back. which is way more effective. These are actually going to be pretty good. Extra explosive damage. Ooh, this is also a pretty useful layout, too. And one other thing is I kind of wish this game had a little bit more music. There really isn't a ton of music in here. What music there is good, but just like even one more track would probably help a lot as far as that angle of it goes. Let's try for some luck here. That's not the direction I really want. Piercing would help these boomerangs. You'd only be able to put it on one of them, though. Can these be affected by area? They can. So I assume the area is probably the explosion of the boomerang, not the boomerang size itself. Duration doesn't affect these. There's no point in taking the area duration augment. It would only be the area augment. Bigger explosion. Why not? I could have saved the other thing, the Pierce augment I was looking at, but meh. We do need to figure out what the evolution for the boomerang is, if it even has one. I actually already forgot whether the tooltip showed that it had an evolution, because there are a couple things that don't. Which hopefully, as time goes on, they'll add evolutions to every weapon. Because it feels kind of weird that there are weapons just that don't evolve. But maybe they just didn't come up with one for it yet. Because that can happen. Reroll. Sure. Boosted speed whenever we dodge is actually gonna be great. There is no evolution on the Bomberang. Speaking of disappointing that things don't have evolutions, that's a perfect example right there of it. You could have had it like be an exploding boomerang that like splits into smaller boomerangs or something silly like that. So actually, I almost feel like the boomerang would have been the thing to have be the weapon that bounces, is when it upgrades. But I guess since you already have it exploding, that would be a little ridiculous. Huh. I mean, the evolution could even be something as simple as it, like, throws two boomerangs at once or something. Which is a hefty force multiplier, don't get me wrong, but sometimes that's kind of the point, too. This does also mean that it doesn't matter what I put around these. It is its own blessing and curse. Oh, and I may as well bring this up because you probably have seen the timed message about emote sales again. More or less what I've ended up doing since I've ended up putting off opening the VGen shop is I've reworked the Ko-fi shop. So there's now more of those Discord reactives as options to buy and things like that. If anyone has an interest in such things or a need for that, they are available there now. Not gonna make a big deal of it, but you know, just noting that that is a thing that exists. Yeah, let's grab this booster and then open this slot so I can boost all of this. That'll be useful. Yeah, the individual damage on these boomerangs is not it yet. They got good coverage per boomerang. They just aren't super high damage, but they're also really low level, and we don't have any damage upgrades on them, really. Nor do we have much in the way of character damage upgrades. And thinking about it, since all the unlocks are any difficulty, I think this might be our last run of hard mode for the moment. Because I'm realizing there's really not a benefit to being on hard mode, other than it being more difficult. Which I feel like I'm already making it difficult enough on myself with the amount I'm just messing around. So, perhaps there's no benefit there for us. I had been considering it, but I'm like, no, that feels like backing down. And then thinking about it further, yeah, backing down's fine. Yeah, the damage boost will work on the leech ammo, and it'll work on the boomerang there, so that works out. Yeah, because you gotta remember what it said on the difficulty screen there is the amount of enemies increases, but the amount of scrap and such you get does not actually get affected. So I'm wondering if you actually are gaining anything from that. Like, do they mean that the end result, even though there's more enemies, is still the same amount? Or do they just mean there's no modifier increasing the amount of scrap you're getting per enemy? Because if your scrap amount's the same, but there's more enemies, then there's not a reason to have the more enemies. And we can increase the amount of enemies just fine through modifiers in here anyway. Boomerang number 3. Go ahead and put it right here so we have room to put stuff around it. And it gets boosted by that booster. And I want to leave room for booster going the opposite direction. And now we have 3 boomerangs. We just become a boomerang juggler. Which the logistics of a boomerang juggler is confusing to me in some ways. Is like, I would presume in order to juggle boomerangs, you can't like juggle them the same way you would other things. You can't just like throw them up and have them come back, because at that point there's no point to them being boomerangs. They would come back due to gravity anyway. So you'd have to like throw the boomerang the way you would normally throw them, which is like out forward somewhere. So you probably would need more boomerangs to get a sufficient amount of movement so it matters that you're juggling them, I guess. Is the travel amount changes? I don't know why I'm giving this as much thought as I am. This is just something my brain has decided to lock onto at the moment. But I'm trying to figure out how that would work, and I can't entirely make sense of it. I could get another boomerang. But in order to really make this the best it can be, I think this is the best it is as far as how many boomerangs. Makes me sad to throw that boomerang away, though. Boomerangs already explode. Yeah, Vortex and Boomerang don't go together, so that's unfortunate. Let's put a piercing here because it'll affect both of these. That's useful. Oh, but I could have put another leech ammo in place to have all of my boomerangs leech. Well, this will still let them all leech, it just won't improve the leeching of this one. There's another boomerang. Like, hey, didn't you want another one of these? Like, technically yes, but right now maybe not. Incendiary 3 though I do want. We'll put that on one of the boomerangs. Just because it's a natural level 3. But yeah, to go back to the whole normal mode versus hard mode thing, I feel like I can just more freely experiment on normal difficulty, so it'll probably be a better choice for here and now. And when I've played more and have more of the stuff unlocked, hard mode would be more worth doing. But it has been worth doing hard mode to showcase how much more difficult it is by comparison. Especially for somebody who's still early on in the mechanics and everything. So it works out either way. Plot armor is useful, we'll take that. I'm not really that jazzed about decoy. I feel like decoy should be good, but it doesn't quite prove out that way. I'd rather have the synergy damage augment here, because the synergy augment is just so good. The amount of damage you get out of that is ridiculous. One could almost say that that's actually too good, because it scales like so rapidly. Especially since you can just kind of dump a bunch of boosters around it. It'd be kind of nice if you could, like, temporarily deactivate that turret by hitting it or something. But... And I wouldn't say that you could, like, always temporarily deactivate it when you hit it, because then people will just have a rapid-fire build that will just hard disable it all the time. Kind of like what we had with the Gatling guns and such. Maybe, like, have it take more hits each time it's stunned or something. But just something to allow you to have a counterplay against that turret other than hiding behind the rocks, I think might be nice. There we go, level 4 incendiary ammo for this one. It does muddy the waters by giving us a third damage type again, but that's fine. Is it solves problems like that where those guys live through the hits but only have like 1 health left. The fire then takes care of that problem. Everything is pain. Everything wants me dead. I don't want to be here anymore. Ow. I gotta love how I didn't take any damage until the song finished. As soon as I stopped making that weird song, I got hit again. Maybe my singing is just that bad that it repels the enemy. Wouldn't be the first time. Ooh, another synergy damage, huh? Let's go ahead and put that on the other side then. I know this is overkill to just put so many synergy damages around the same one, but it's funny to me. I can put that on one of these lines, so it's not useless. I would really love one going the other way, though, so I could put it here and buff the main line the rest of the way. Destroy the boss. There's something just very funny to me about a bunch of guys with hats like that and trench coats coming at me the second I get the message to destroy the boss. Just hear, like, hey boss, he's gonna get you. Just coming out of those guys the whole time in my head. Nope, I'm not gonna say it. No, nope, not jinxing myself that way. I thought it already, which is bad enough, but I'm not saying it. It's just gonna make it worse. No. I'm not gonna manage to kill this man. I needed to have committed to going after him sooner. But I was wandering around picking up scrap instead, which probably will be better for us anyway. There's more items here. There we go. Saw blade on sale, but I don't want it right now. Hey, nabbit. Yeah, flab it. Okay, fine. I guess I'll take another one that goes that way and then do the other section. And I guess this works out, though, because we just get a salvage around here. And the speed booster we have actually works out pretty nicely for this. Still not much more than we usually get out of these, though. Level 3 boomerang. We'll go ahead and sell that level 2 and replace it with the level 3. Would have been nice to get another level 3 boomerang, but, you know, it's okay. Knockback could be funny, but they don't allow for knockback on the boomerangs. Probably because the game would have to figure out how to deal with that, and it wouldn't be great. Give some piercing to this one as well now. This way all of our boomerangs have similar amounts of piercing. It's like they know that I don't like these Dillos. I swear they spawn more often because I'm here. Kinda like how all those turrets were spawning last night. Good lord. So much pain. Want to buy health bar that exists again. Want to sell entire Dillo population. Okay, we're still alive. We're fine. Everything's fine. Okay, good. I did get that oil. I was worried I didn't get it. Yeah, we'll trade for stable build this time. Matter duplicator might be funny now. A circular booster could also work. Put it like here or something. Finish off this Bomberang and the synergy augment. Or I could put it over here and make this one real good. That can also work. I would need to open up one of these spots, though, if I want to fix this up. Because right now, this one has the most power boosts on it, but it's the lowest level. So I probably should buff that one up a little bit. This is not working according to my cunning scheme. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. I would like to say I am the danger, but right now, no. No, I'm not. I am just in danger. Ow. Almost every time I've grabbed an oil can so far recently, I end up losing that health immediately. Yes, more dodge charges, please. Let's buy this one so we can hang on to the other one. Get us that extra speed. Oh, look, a level 3 machine gun. Another boomerang. God damn it. I probably shouldn't keep fishing when I have something locked, but I'm trying to have my cake and eat it too, and this is why I'm choking. Nope. Oh, this is so bad. So much death. Oh, Lord, why? Why have you forsaken me, Robo Jesus? Oh, okay, maybe I'm not so forsaken after all. No. Ah. Bah, I say, bah, just like a damn sheep. We're so close to getting to the final stage with this goofery that we're doing here, though. I don't know what to think if I manage to get through this with just these boomerangs that I'm throwing around, by the way. Considering we had much better thought out ideas die sooner than this. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of those died due to just misfortune, admittedly. So, there's not a ton of validity to any comparison there, but doesn't mean I'm not going to compare them anyway. Because one worked and one didn't. On the bright side, though, it looks like I'm not going to have to worry about that in a second here, because it's going to end on this map. Oh, there's my plot armor. And we lived because of plot armor. Oh, God. There we go. There's a booster that works for that. Nope. I just want this to be known that this run would be over if it weren't for plot armor right now. We got saved by it like 3 times in this map alone. Nope. I couldn't keep doing that anymore, though. There got to be too many of them, and I just couldn't keep dodging. High voltage. Kill 300 killbots. Neat. This is probably gonna be last run. Okay, just extra energy damage. Let's go back down to normal. We didn't get another new weapon, so I guess it's gonna be back to an old idea here. Unless I want to, like, start with something basic like a machine gun or the rocket launcher or something like that just to get another unlock. Then again, there is an unlock for Missile Swarm. And I do feel like the Missile Swarm setup got done kind of dirty. So yeah, we'll end on Missile Swarm. Because I like Missile Swarm. We'll have fun with chain lightning missiles. Instead of focusing on purely just getting more of them, we'll make them do chain lightning. So obviously I'll be buying as many missile swarms as I can get my hands on. Experience from kills. Hey, look, another missile swarm. What do you know? Fish a little bit. Hey, a third missile swarm right off the top. Perfect. On the bright side, we've definitely gotten a lot better with our spacing of things as we've gone on with this game, so that will make a big difference towards this doing better as well. And, you know, we're used to hard mode now, so this is gonna probably be a lot easier. More oil canister spawns. I can't afford the rocket we queued up. That's okay. Yeah, area matters for this, but duration doesn't. Hey, look, another missile swarm. Let's go ahead and put some ice on these missiles, and we'll put one of our other missile swarms here to benefit from the ice as well. I think that will be the best idea I can have, is having some of my missiles slowing my enemies so that we're not getting overwhelmed. Because if there's anything I've learned from hard mode, it's that this game is very good at overwhelming you. Unless you've got something that's really good at keeping the entire pile under control. Which, based on what happened last time with Missile Swarm, we will be able to have some really good handle on the crowd here, but I won't bank on that. This is the cheaper of the two missile swarms, so we'll take that one first. And we can slap electricity on it too. We don't need the construct damage, but that's, you know, it's fine. Nope. So basically all of our missiles are doing both, other than one missile doesn't do ice and lightning, it only does lightning. On the bright side, it makes it much easier to tell the missile volleys apart when they have different effects on them. I do also want to see if I can figure out the evolution for this, if it has one. No, this is another weapon that doesn't evolve. I'm noticing a trend with the explosive weapons not evolving. And I can't help but feel personally attacked by them not having their explosive weapons evolving. You know, ignoring the fact that they're already good enough as is, I want them to do more goofy things. After we finish this run, I'm gonna go look through the list of weapons and see what does and doesn't evolve, to prove or disprove my theory there. Oh, he's frozen completely. Real shame for him. Ooh, a discounted missile swarm. Don't mind if I do. Where am I gonna put it, though? Let's put it over here. It'll reach a decent amount of objects. And we'll lock in that directional booster, though it's not the best positioning. It's one of the best directions for the amount of tiles. Yep, okay. Just messing him up immediately. Not as much as some of our setups have, but doing a decent job straight away. it's just gonna run into the problem of the missile launchers are gonna start getting distracted. As long as I stay relatively close to him, they should still focus on him well enough for the most part. There we go. Yeah, I was running to grab more of the scrap, but I just wasn't quick enough. Add our duplicator. Let's go ahead and slap this missile launcher over here. Put some electricity between them? Nah. We'll save that electricity for later. Let's put the booster down first so we get some of the rocket it sets boosted first. I do appreciate that the missiles don't just leave or die when their target dies. They just carry on to the next guy. Because they easily could have had them just, like, disappear when their target dies. Because some games definitely do that. So that would have made these swarm launchers so much weaker. We'll take the luck boost here. Storage charge. Ooh, that is a better cryo core. Let's just straight up replace this cryo core. Since this is affecting 3 missiles, I would like this to be as good as it can be. And then we'll go ahead and put this lightning there like I initially planned to. I'm not fussed about an area augment. Wow, they just ignored that guy that was next to me. Just like, nah, fuck that guy in particular. See that guy over there? That guy owes us money. We're gonna go get him. Shouldn't you not blow up the guy that owes you money? Then he won't be able to pay you. Nah, he been in debt too long. He ain't gonna get out of debt anyway. Real shame, that one. Ooh, we got chewed up there pretty bad. That's why you just didn't hear me saying anything during that one. There we go, cryo core level 4. Yeah, that's why I didn't... That was the other reason why I didn't put the booster here initially, is because the blocked off spaces would have been in the way. Destroy. Destroy. Yeah, if there's no targets, then the missiles just spin off, which is pretty funny. Well, that's the important part, is that there has to be no targets. We're getting back in it. We're getting back in it. We'll be okay. Let's see what I mean about normal difficulty being kind of difficult enough, because I already walk the ragged edge of disaster sometimes, depending on what the enemy composition's like. And obviously I'm not being as efficient as I could be, as we've discussed before. This would actually be a really good spot for a booster, because it... Well, actually, no, it wouldn't be a good spot, because half of them are boosters. What am I talking about? What do you think I'm talking about? Over here, though, could be a decent spot. This will affect other things that get placed later as well, potentially. Oh, this could be the end. The damn turret. And the preppers are pretty durable, and of course the Brawl Boys have shown to be an issue for me in the past. And they've got their own missile launcher. Oh no, the bounce ball guy, not the missile launcher. The bouncy ball is still an issue, but not as much as the tracking missiles are. The funny thing about these missile launchers is So many occasions where I stop at a bit of the map and I go, what happened here? Oh, right, I did. Cooldown reduction could be really good. In fact, actually, yeah, I can put it here or here. Probably here, though, because this is 2 level 2 swarms, whereas it would be 1 level 1 and 1 level 2. And either spot gets it buffed by 1. Yeah, sure. Now the discussion about the cooldown augment ends up being 6 of one, half dozen the other, admittedly, but that's fine, too. As nice as it is that all my missile launchers are roughly equal, I would like some of them to be more equal than others in that they kill things better. Them all being equally good at killing would be fine, but I would rather have something that starts making headway here, or a little bit better. Ooh, we haven't seen this before. Exploit. Frozen, stunned, taunted, or knocked back enemies have 10% increased critical chance against them and 30% increased critical damage, 5% duration. Doesn't really help us here because the only thing we really have out of this lineup is Frozen. And it's only a little bit of crit chance and critical damage, which we don't really have anything for either. Guess I'll take the range, though I feel like those missiles probably have infinite range. Yeah, range doesn't even affect them, so that was wasted anyway. Go ahead and put that damage augment I've been hanging on to in here. Regular booster. Yeah, probably over here. Level 3 electric, level 3 missile swarm. Destroy the boss. Oh god, they're tiny and they're angry. No. No, 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 no. No, do not want. Your song is upsetting. Kindly cease. I did not need an encore either. Fuck you. Eventually we will chip him to death. Not getting nearly enough scrap though. Then again, we got all the scrap from him, so that works out. Stop it with the up and right directional boosters. I need down and left directional boosters. I could get a heavyweight augment on some stuff. That could be big. Let's hold on to that. Okay, that's also not a bad directional booster. Not really the one I wanted, but if I open this, I can put it there. And do some decent work, like maxing out this cryo core. Damn it. I was fishing for the booster that I wanted. There we go. Level 4 heavyweight, so 43% more damage for both of these. Now I have achieved the some missile launchers are better than others situation I was talking about. But you know, it's not ideal, but it's useful to have just some real power on something at least. It would be great to have all of them be very good, but some are destined to not be as good. That's just the nature of that. Cooldown reduction. Yeah, this is a cheap area augment, so go ahead and chuck it there, because at least it gets boosted. And then that gives this missile swarm a purpose in life. take the free repair. This missile swarm is also another one that just kind of got abandoned, even though it was the first missile swarm we had. It wasn't a case of I place something on it and benefit more than one thing, therefore it just kind of got left by the wayside until I was running out of things that would benefit multiple. Because, you know, it just makes the most sense. Benefit as many objects as you can at once. I don't want to die. The game wants me to die. I don't like it. Get me out of here. Missed out on a lot of scrap there, but I was more attentive to avoidance there. Yes, more enemy spawns. That's totally not going to backfire at all. Nothing can possibly go wrong if I just fill the screen with enemies for me to shoot. You know, ignoring the fact that we hit a point where the enemies are getting more durable and that's going to cause an issue with me getting rid of them or anything. No. That's a silly idea that that would be a problem. It almost looked like I just tackled that Dillo to death. Which that would also be kind of fun if this game had something that made your dash do damage. Since they have a bunch of things that give you more dash charges. You just slam into them with the bulk of your little robo body. Of course, when I refer to it that way, I guess it doesn't sound as bulky, huh? But, it's fine. Details. More dodge charges, though, so we don't die as easily. That'll work, because I can put it either here or here. And it's probably going to be here because we get less value down here. So, it's a similar amount of lost value, arguably. This way we have a maxed out lightning and a maxed out heavyweight. So I think those are more valuable overall than one maxed out missile swarm and one other not maxed out item. Is there somewhere I would put another missile swarm? Technically I could put it in this corner, but I would lose the ability to put the other booster going the other way. I don't really want that. Not that I'm ever gonna get that booster, apparently. Because it just doesn't want to give me any downward-facing boosters at all in this run. And now we got the enemy missile launchers and the turret to deal with, though. So this is gonna be bad. Not to mention the conquering slimes. Thankfully, we can kind of keep our own little corner mostly safe. Our only real issue comes into play when I have to go start collecting, like I am now. Both because I need health and because I don't want to leave all the scrap on the table here. And we're dead. Which is exactly what I was afraid of with going and being greedy. Floating screw error. That was a good run, though. I just want to take a look. Yeah, the regular rocket launcher evolves, so it's not all explosive weapons that don't evolve. It looks like it's the further in the weapons are, maybe? Yeah, because the wrench doesn't evolve, the saw does, the parasite does, the Gatling does. The thumper doesn't. Nuclear football does, machine gun does, shotgun does. Fire extinguisher doesn't, which that makes a degree of sense, because what would you even evolve a fire extinguisher into? Arcwave Dynamo does. Landmines do. Vroomba doesn't evolve, though. I'm sure they could have done something with that. Dodge Puddle does. Okay. It's a shame that the two things I need for another weapon are two things that don't evolve. I'm now tempted to do one more. No. I think this is a good enough showing of what this is. And yeah, this is another way you can tell, is these are all the evolved weapons down here. And then we've got a bunch of other things we have not yet picked up yet. Need to win with Missile Swarm, Fire Extinguisher, defeat with Bombot, Energized Spanner, or at the end of the game. Die on the BFG map, which is the final map. Arcwave Dynamo, basically just win like with anything, either bots or weapons. And that basically will get you most of the remaining unlocks. I do like the little animations they show you here to give you an idea what these things do, though. But yeah, once again, if you are interested in the game, there it is, right there. My target that I intended is still going, so we will head there in a moment here. Gonna take a quick peek. Make sure that this wasn't like a case of they're gonna do something incredibly short. We go there like as soon as they're leaving. Okay, yeah, no, they're still only like in the first hour and they're well committed into what they're doing, so that works out perfectly. So let's see. Music back while I get through this. Tomorrow, like I said, might do crowd control, might do another one of the games I've got codes for, might do something completely off the cuff of like God of Weapons, like I said, because I had that DLC come out for it. Then of course back to Monday, where it's Legend of Dragoon. Tuesday is still a little up in the air. I have a couple things in mind for it, but I hadn't committed any of them yet. One of the potentials being Revenge of the Savage Planet, which, if you all remember, I did play through all of Journey to the Savage Planet years back now, I think. So that could be worth our while. Let me get this queued up before I run out of things to ramble about, and then have awkward silence while the raid timer goes. Because that would be inconvenient. Because we're gonna go see Vale, which y'all have seen plenty of Vale on this channel at this point. And you know how I feel about Vale. And I don't get to raid Vale very often, so it all works out. And 100% orange juice is very funny most of the time, so it all works out perfectly. Thank you all for your time today. As always, I appreciate the fact that people are willing to spend time watching me do whatever it is I choose to do on a given day. And I don't really have anything else to add to that. Good night, everybody.